Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Okay, maganda hapon. Ako'y nagulat pala, no? Nga pala, tayo'y ngayon, oras ba ngayon? Alas 3 na ho ng hapon, 3:50 to be exact. Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Welcome po sa ating program. Ako po si SONNY LARAGAN dito po sa ating palatuntunang for the past May, June, July, August, September. We're now on our 5th month ng embassy natin, kaibigan mo. Welcome sa ating mga kababayan sa apat na sulok ng United Kingdom. We're broadcasting from our studios in London ho. No? Ako po si SONNY LARAGAN. Siyempre, pagka gantong, mamamasyal ho tayo ngayon. Nakita niyo yung ating simula, Ireland ho tayo, sa Republic of Ireland. Wala ho tayong ambassador doon. Meron ho tayong honorary consul ho na ipakikilala ho nitong aking pakikilala ngayon na Repa PEPS, Dabar Cards, no? Chong, lahat na ho, no? Mga kaibigan, si Mr. PEPS Villanueva. PEPS, good afternoon.
Good afternoon naman, Sunny. At andito na naman tayo, Filipino TV Europe, embassy natin, kaibigan mo. But as Sunny said earlier, this time dito tayo sa Ireland po, sa Dublin, ano, sa Philippine Honorary Consulate sa Dublin, no? So kakaiba naman, hindi ito embassy, hindi ito pasuguan, but consulate po, konsulado, no? Honorary Philippine Consulate sa Dublin. Kaya medyo excited din tayo. First time na ang mafi-feature natin as the main guest is the honorary consul, di ba?
Yes,
lang.
Yes, natin, no?
We had an
Ayan. Nag-freeze si PEPS, no? Nag-freeze si PEPS. Okay, habang hinihintay ko si PEPS na bumalik, hintayin natin bumalik si PEPS.
Sama yung kanyang honorary.
Ayan, nawala ka for a while, PEPS, no? Nawala ka for a while. Nag-freeze ka for mga 5-10 seconds, a few seconds.
Ganun ba?
Oo, but ayan. Okay na.
Yan, no? Well,
okay
what I was saying was first time we had an honorary consul was as part of the Belgium team, no? Remember si
Ronnie,
Ambassador Ed de Vega included
yes,
the honorary consul sa Belgium, no? To be part of the broadcast. But this is the first time na ang ating special guest is the honorary Philippine consul to this time sa Ireland, ano? So
kasi
kilalanin nating mabuti yan, no?
Kasi wala tayong parang direktang pasuguan yan, no? O embassy sa Ireland. Peps, pasalamat muna tayo.
Under under UK, no? Under Philippine
UK.
Embassy in London, no?
Lagi
dati
tayong
meron diyan, but hindi nagtagal, isinara uli, I think due to budget reasons, ano? So nasara, so naging honorary uli, no?
Peps, gusto ko lang pasalamatan tong ating sponsor siyempre, no?
Yes.
Ang World Remit, kundi ho dahil sa kanila, hindi ho tayo nagpapatuloy dito sa ating broadcast. PEPS, may bago na ngayon. ZEPS ang pangalan ng World Remit ngayon. ZEPS. May isang company ngayon, nabili nila yung, pangalan ito? Itong Sendwave. At dalawang company yan. Pero under ZEPS, ZEPS. Ayan. Bagong-bago. Maraming salamat to, World Remit. Kung hindi ho dahil sa World Remit, hindi natin naihatid yung mga examples ito. Like for example, kasama natin yung honorary consul ng Dublin, no? Kung hindi dahil yan, at mga iba't ibang mga ambassador sa buong Europa. Kung hindi dahil ho sa World Remit, syempre, hindi ho natin maihatid yan. Sige, Peps, pakilala mo muna siguro yung, may maipapakilala ka munang, syempre.
Yan.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Baka kala mo ikaw lang, ha? Meron din ako.
Okay. Tayo. Buti ka ba, meron ka junior edition. Ako, wala. Di ba, wala akong junior edition. Ayan.
Yeah.
Alright. Sige.
Tulad nga ng binanggit mo, no? Before we introduce our special guest for this afternoon, pakilala muna natin yung senior consultant, no?
Yes.
sa Philippine Consulate, Honorary Philippine Consulate sa Dublin, no?
Mhm.
Siya rin ang isa sa mga outreach mission na facilitator ng Philippine Embassy sa Ireland, ano? At ito ano ito? Ang first job nito pareho ko ito, no? Advertising nito. Ako sa kung saan
right.
J. Walter, ito J. Romero and Associates, ano? Mga kaibigan din natin.
Hindi nga. Totoo yan?
Si Jake Romero.
Hindi nga.
Medyo nakasabay pa
Ba't di
natin
pumapasok
nung
mic
araw
ko?
yan.
Hindi pumapasok mic ko? Ayan. Hello, Peps, can you hear me?
Pumapasok ka, narinig kita.
May delay ka. Nagdi-delay ka siguro. Papasok ng ano. Okay. J. Romero ba? Totoo yan? Are you telling...
Yeah, nag-J. Romero yan, no? And then she had a series of jobs.
Yung ating ano, okay. Akala ko yung lalaki, yung pala babae pala.
Hindi.
Okay.
Yung ating papakilala muna, yung ating
Sige, go
senior
ahead.
consultant, ano?
Mhm.
Until she became, medyo naging ano rin yan, nakilala because she was a correspondent ng ABS-CBN Europe News Bureau, no?
Okay.
Diyan yan, na nag-uulat mula sa Dublin, nag-uulat mula sa kung saan-saan, ano?
With Danny
For,
Belafé, kaibigan natin, oo.
Kasama ni Danny at saka nila Rose Clarinal,
Rose
no?
Clarinal, oo.
At ano rin yan, cultural champion, advocate, Cavan County Council, no? Pakilala
Cavan ba
natin
pronunciation?
ang ating,
Tama nga ba? Cavan ba? O Cavan? O Cavan? Cavan?
Ewan ko.
Cavan daw.
Cavan,
Cavan.
Yeah, dahil ano yan, tungkol sa bigas yan, hindi ba?
Oo nga, Cavan. So, Cavan pala. Cavan. Sige.
Cavan.
Kaya kaban yan. Dahil ganong kabigat yung bigas mo? Isang kaban. Di ba?
Oo.
So, pakilala natin, no? Itong ating
Siyempre.
kaibigan na ito, senior consultant dyan sa Honorary Philippine Consulate sa Dublin, walang iba kundi si Vanda Marie Masyon Brady. Ang haba, no? Vanda, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon po sa inyong lahat. Welcome to Cavan, here, County Cavan sa Ireland po.
Ayan. Masyon ka pala. You were Masyon when you were dalaga, no? Masyon, tama ba?
Yes, Masyon.
Oo,
Masyon
Masyon.
ba o Mason?
Masyon ba?
Masyon Brady.
Ayun. Wow, galing.
Dito po ako
Alright.
sa Cavan. I'm an hour and a half away from Dublin. An hour and a half away from Consul Raymond, actually.
Alright. So you were actually, meron ba tayong 3-shot ni, direct? Wala yata, no? May 3-shot ba tayo ni Banda? Wala. Anyway.
Meron ako nakita kanina.
Hindi, wala yata. Pwede niya i-duplicate itong hindi, duplicate mo lang yan. Pwede mo nang, i-duplicate mo lang direct. Wag na. Pwedeng, si switch niya. Okay. Right. Kasi nasa agency ka pala, nag-advertising agency ka pala nung araw.
Opo. Bale, I started...
Bale ngayon. Sana dinuplicate mo direct. Sandali lang ha. Dapat yun mo lang yung inulit mo. Okay, anyway. Ayun, okay. Andiyan na. Okay, sorry. Asin tatlo.
So,
Ayun. Go ahead. Sorry.
Fresh from UP, Broadcom po yung course ko sa UP, and then I got into advertising. I was a copywriter for a few years. Nag-inside story din po ako for a while. And then, after that, back to aral muna ulit. Tapos, I moved sa Asian Institute of Management ako nag-work for a while. And then, I then moved to England. Diyan ako sa London for 10 years. I was...
Yes, sa Lewisham.
Sa Lewisham. Bale, dyan ako for 10 years as a training coordinator. Tapos, I then moved. I met my husband here I met my husband in London, actually. And then we decided to build a house here in Cavan, where he's from, County Cavan. And I then met the consul while we were trying to sell a property in the Philippines, and I met him in 2014. And then 2015, I think I met him. And then a year after, I then set up yung Enfeed Ireland. Tapos kami na po yung facilitate ng outreach missions. That's how I met the consul.
That was how I met them also. Peps, when we had the newspaper and we were trying to promote the newspaper sa Ireland, that's the reason why we were there, no? And si Bolson nandun. Okay, well, good. Sino kabatch mo sa Broadcom na nasa industriya? Sino ang kabatch mo?
Si Rose was a shifty. She shifted from another course. And then, sino pa ba? Sino?
Sa GMA? Kaklase mo ba yung nasa GMA?
Si Carmina Villaruel is her name. Sa AS, sa Foreign News siya. Batchmate ko yun, si Carmina.
Okay.
Who
All right.
else?
Sige.
But si
BA
Rose
Broadcast
is batchmate
Communication
ko.
ito from UP, ha?
Oo, Broadcom. Oo, hindi. Kasi marami ko mga kaibigan na mga nasa UP. Kamukha nila sila. Sam Tongson. I don't know
At
kung inabot niya.
nag-masters naman siya sa maling eskwelahan nga lang, Ateneo de Manila.
Oo. Masters. Oy, okay. Teka na, pakilala na natin yung ano.
Okay.
Peps, pakilala mo na. Sige, sige, we're gonna be there kasi ikaw ang senior consultant at tumutulong siya, Peps, sa ating sa embahada,
Yeah.
no? O sa consulate dyan.
Facilitator yan, eh, no?
Facilitator dyan.
And
Okay.
ngayon naman, yung ating special
Pakikilala mo na.
guest, no?
Yes.
Ano ito? Graduate ito ng BS, Honors Degree in Business. Ha? Talagang businessman ito. And for
Wow.
a long, long time has always been involved in the charity and not for profit sectors. Ano?
Mhm.
At siya ay is a very successful businessman in Ireland, no? Siya ang managing director ng Prime Renovations, and at the moment he is also the owner and manager of Vital Property Services, no? Yan yung property maintenance and renovations company. At
Hmm.
even before he was the honorary Philippine consul, ano na yan, tumutulong na yan in he was instrumental in facilitating outreach missions of the Philippine Embassy in Ireland, ano? So talagang actively involved na yan sa Filipino community even before his appointment. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's all welcome the honorary Philippine consul to Ireland, Mr. Raymond Garrett. Raymond, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Raymond.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Magandang hapon sa iyo, no? So you're okay. So you're a businessman actually. For how long, Raymond?
I graduated university in on about 2008, just as the big financial
crisis.
crash hit.
The crisis. Financial crisis.
So I built up the business in a recession, so it kind of put us through a tough time, but we managed to I managed to build the business with the recession looming over us. At the same time, straight out of university, I worked with the Philippine Embassy in Dublin just as they opened up. So I was brought in to help them set up the embassy from the smallest things to the biggest things. I work very closely with the now ambassador to the United Arab Emirates, Jaiseline Quintana, and at the time the Philippine ambassador to Dublin, Ariel Abadilia, who I maintain good relations with, and they've been great and giving advice in this role.
But how
So
did
it's
it
been
also-
quite a while now. Quite a while.
Yeah. But right, fresh out of college, and you were starting out the business during the time of the crash, right? That was when
Yes.
because of the it started in the U.S. and it reverberated the whole wide world, the world over. But how did it happen? You were mentioning that you were helping out. You got these connections or initial introductions with the embassy. How was it? How were you introduced actually?
I approached the embassy. I went to university in the Philippines, came back and continued my university here. Straight out of college, I had the plan of setting up a business, but in the middle of a recession when no one had any work, it was a slow start. So to keep myself busy and to keep my CV active, I volunteered in the embassy. I was then hired as a local hire. I thankfully put myself in a position where they needed me. And then the ambassador and the deputy ambassador decided that they'd like to take me on board. So it kind of ran its course over a year and a half. As the business grew, I stepped down my role in the embassy. But I was always there as almost in today's terms, I was like a consultant, but I was quite entry level at the time. But I had a significant role there. I helped them set up the embassy. So when that finished, when the embassy closed, then they asked me assistance in setting up an honorary consulate, which I assisted them with at the time.
You mentioned that you studied back home in the Philippines, right? Did you?
Yes, in Cagayan de Oro for about
Wow.
4 years.
Really?
In Cagayan de Oro City. Yes.
Wow.
So that was my second home. I spent about 5 or 6 years there in total. but studied for just under 4 years
Where Xavier? Which university?
in Liceo de Cagayan University.
Okay, so why in the Philippines? So how did it come about? Now, so we're getting to
Getting to know you.
probe even deeper. So why you've been there for the
I
past
was
6 years?
traveling. I was traveling when I was about 18. I started traveling. I moved to the Middle East, to Egypt, and then became a professional scuba diver very quick. And the Philippines is always, without a doubt, one of the top 5 in the world. No matter whose list you look at, some would put it on the top, some would put it in place 5, but it's always top 5 in the world consistently. So it was a natural place to want to go to for scuba diving. I went there, but I realized very quickly that I had done it backwards. Everyone else goes to university and then goes traveling for a year. I done the traveling before I went to university, so I said, no, I'm going to stop. And at the time, Liceo de Cagayan University was the highest ranking university for nursing. And I envisioned nursing in the same way Filipinos do. You study nursing, you become a nurse, you have a job as a nurse, and that's it. It's a career path. So I went to Liceo, who had the top 1, 5, and 10 nurse ranking in the country for the board passers. I said, okay, this is the best university. Realized I didn't want to be a nurse and studied business and IT. So I took a double major in business and IT, continued there, and the rest is history.
So you toyed with the idea of being a nurse, but eventually midstream or midway you shifted to business. Really?
I
Wow, that's
mean,
good.
like walking towards the nursing registration, I just took a turn. I didn't even make it in the door. I realized I don't want to be a nurse. I'm
Okay,
not cut out for this. I'm
we
business and IT.
Right. We claim to have over 7,000 islands in the Philippines. Okay, people would, when they think of the Philippines, they think of Manila. But why Cagayan de Oro? There's probably Palawan. There's probably General Santos City,
Yeah,
Davao,
you end up in
Cebu.
Cagayan de Oro.
Why Cagayan
I
de Oro?
had traveled around a little. I traveled around a little, and it was the university for nursing. It was the best single university in the country for nursing at the time, year after year. I think 4 years in a row at the time. The Liceo de Cagayan was producing the largest number in the top 10 board passers. So it was natural to go there. The fact that I deviated into IT benefited me in the long run, but at the time, that's what brought me to the city.
Raymond, are you being honest with us? You know what? The question is, the reason why I ask you that is people will go through lengths if they fall in love. So was this you meeting a woman and eventually, because the lady is from Cagayan de Oro?
I got married with someone I met in university, but we'd never met before I got there. So if that answers the question.
Ah, really? Oh, wow. Okay.
I
You
had a
ended up
very
marrying somebody you
normal-
met over there.
So you fell in love eventually while you were there. So
I met with, I done what most people do. They go to university, they meet someone, and they get married. So, yeah. And I didn't meet her in university. I met her at the shop. But, you know, that's, again, it's history.
so
but
you're
that's
married
what
to a
brought me
Filipina.
there
So
was-
you're married to a Filipina.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, I
So
was,
there's-
sorry. Yeah.
Oh,
It
wait,
was
but-
a long
but-
time ago, but yeah.
So you got this very deep connection with the Philippines. It's not just you, probably just
My
out of the
children,
blue.
my children is the connection. I have 3 beautiful daughters, 19, 11, and 6. 10, nearly 11, and 6. So they're all proud dual citizens, both Irish and Filipino.
So they are Phil. How do you call it? Phil Irish? How do you call, like Phil Brit, Phil Am? How do you call the children of a Filipino and a British an Irish?
Within our house, we call them Iripinos. So Irish Filipinos.
That's a different
The
Irish.
others-
How's that?
The others would
Iripinos.
say,
but that's within our house.
Oh, Vanda was
I
trying
guess
to
they're
say
just
something.
Irish Filipinos.
She's
Filipino
got a-
Irish.
yeah.
Okay, Vanda, what do you?
The others call it Flippish, Filipino Irish, Flippish. But then, Irish Filipino is also the other way to say.
All
But there was
right,
like a term coined Flippish, Filipino Irish, Flippish, and there's a book about that actually.
These things that we're asking Raymond, did you know about these things before, or just now? Not like when he started in the Philippines. We started in Cagayan de Oro. He was traveling all over, he's scuba diving and everything, and ended up in Cagayan de Oro, like Liceo de Cagayan, and was thinking of thinking of becoming a nurse, and midway changed to IT. Did you know about that?
I think Raymond, I just want to answer that for Raymond in a way. When I met Raymond, he actually knew a lot of things about the Philippines than me, surprisingly.
Yes.
While he was studying in Cagayan de Oro, he was able to really live as a student. And then when I met him here, I lived in General Santos and studied in Manila. I didn't know many things that he knew. Like he knew what do you call that thing, Raymond? A broken rice. I didn't know what broken rice
Oh yeah,
was.
broken rice. Yes. Oh yeah, it's cheaper than
he
the
also-
regular rice. Yes, regular
Yeah,
milled
he
rice.
also-
And the
he
NFA
really-
rice and
NFA rice.
And then
to put it in perspective, Vanda lived a different lifestyle in the Philippines compared to me. When I went there, I was very young. I had a very limited amount of money, so I lived as a student. I didn't know luxury lifestyle, so I just carried on as it was. Vanda's father is a world-renowned scientist, so had a very privileged lifestyle in comparison to the average student. So that's all it was. It was just two different experiences.
And then just to add, he was able to drive what do you call that? The what do you call
Hobble
the-
hobble.
Habal habal.
And he drove the jeepney as well. So he knew all these things. And yeah, he said that he was more really immersed in the,
Well- Well, in a way, we could call you an honorary Filipino in a way, Raymond, because you've lived it, you've been there, fell in love eventually, and you know,
and he has children.
he
Filipino
has children. So you are actually more Filipino, I mean, than most of some other people, because you've been there, you've lived it, you've had a very nice adventure. No, in the I didn't realize. I thought it was just there's this guy, this businessman from Ireland, who's just wanted to be an honorary consul. But here you are telling us your story. I never realized that My partner is from Cagayan de Oro, the Pimentels. I don't know if you know the Pimentels. So they're from Cagayan de Oro, and that's the reason why I could relate to it, and I'm kind of close to
Yeah.
it. And it's really a surprise, a welcome surprise. You telling us about your story, being a student back home in the Philippines. I thought it was like. You probably studied in Ireland, in Dublin, and went to the Philippines for a few courses.
For a
But
break,
you actually
for a gap
Yeah.
year or something.
yes, but you were thinking of becoming a nurse at one time. So imagine the reason why we have a lot of Filipinos in the UK and Ireland is because of the demand for nurses, and you were that a long time ago. Imagine, wow, amazing. Perhaps this is quite okay.
Yeah.
So now, because you were close to the Philippines in a way by association, you were there, you studied, you fell in love and everything, you fell in love with the country. So when did you come back eventually? And then you were trying to endear yourself to the Philippine Embassy. When was this?
I can't even remember when I came back, around maybe 2006, 2007, something like that. I graduated 2000. I think I came back 2006. Graduated 2008 in Ireland because I transferred back to continue education here. I graduated my first course 2008. Then just to keep myself busy and I wanted to give back a little bit. The kind of community spirit was deep in me. The foundation of my education was in the Philippines. That's where I really started to learn and develop business ideas and a career prospect. So I wanted to give back a little. So I offered some help with the embassy and at the same time while building the business. So it all just carried on from there.
So you're familiar with, for example, PEPS, yung pinakamagandang hayop sa balat ng lupa? Anong island yun? Anong island yun?
Sikogon?
No. You're familiar with this island? Wow! There's a volcano. Have you been to the other, like for ano pa yung pelikula yung
Which other places have you visited in the Philippines?
Bukidnon. You've been to Bukidnon? It's close.
You mean going towards Siquijor? There's a small island there with the volcano.
Yeah, I know that. It's you take a ferry from.
Small ferry.
A small ferry.
I forget the name.
I've
been there. You can drive around it in 2 hours if it's the same one I'm thinking of.
They've got Lanzones. They've got this hot springs.
Camiguin.
Camiguin.
Yeah.
Camiguin.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Camiguin Island.
Camiguin,
Oh, yes.
Raymond has
Yeah.
been to General Santos City and to Nueva
Sur- Surigao?
Vizcaya. Nueva Vizcaya. We had to
okay.
go
So
there
from the south
twice.
up to the north, yeah?
Oh yeah, north.
Yeah,
Oh,
he has
Well, a few spots within, mostly for work, but yeah. When Vanda was working in the consulate, we repatriated someone to Nueva Ecija, and then we assisted a family of a fisherman in Jensan, and well, Serengani, but we based
Sarangani.
ourselves in Jensan. So
Um, well-
we've traveled around a bit with consulate work.
alam mo, Peps, I've got a lot of respect, a lot of respect for Raymond now, knowing of his story. I didn't realize that you had a very, very deep story and relation to the Philippines, no?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
amazing.
he
Quite close to the
Can-
quite close
To be
the
fair,
country.
Sonny, the stereotypical honorary consul is exactly what you said. It's a man that maybe done a couple of contracts in country and they look good on paper, and they'll have a secretary or a staff member that will do the work in the background, and it's quite hands off. So in that light, yeah, I'm proud that we at the consulate team, because it's certainly not me alone, but we the consulate team are very active in that sense. And there's a small team alongside with me, which Vanda was part of for a long time. She helped set it up, but she's moved on now to bigger and better things. And I've now got Ina Conway, who is basically the voice of the consulate. She's the person you get to talk to. She heads up cultural activities. We've Wendell Bersabal, based in south of Ireland, and he's the education and youth officer. And then we have Leah Fay, who manages basically the passport extensions now, but she's consular services manager. So yeah, it's not only me. I may be the face people see, but
You,
it's a,
you
it's a
also
good
have
team.
Darren. You also have Darren.
Sorry,
Raymond.
we've Darren, who's we've Darren Smith, who's business development manager, but Darren is more hands off. Darren is quite a high level business executive that gives us time. So it's less time, but it's quite meaningful in the business development side of things. So we'd be promoting businesses to transfer their outsourcing activities to the Philippines, and general promotion of Philippine products and goods, and trying to get them into Ireland and into Europe as a whole.
Wow.
I just also
yes,
sorry,
Vanda.
sorry,
Go
I
ahead.
just wanted to add, just on that note, when you were saying that he has been traveling a lot to the Philippines, I also wanted to add, Raymond, that you were also there to bring home a cancer patient recently. You brought him home to the
Oh.
Philippines, right? Yeah, and so that was the
Yes,
recent
yeah.
one as well. And he passed away as well last year, didn't he? But you went
Yeah,
to
there
give
was
him
one.
his passport extension.
All right.
There was one
hmm.
individual. He was working in Ireland for 20 years and no family. Didn't mix too much with the Filipino community. He was terminally ill with cancer, and the doctors gave him a very short window to travel. There was no family member could get to Ireland in time to bring him back. So on a Sunday night, I just bit the bullet and said, "Okay, I'll bring you." I said to the doctors, "When does he need to go?" And they said, "Oh, any time between now and Wednesday." After that, we're removing his authority to travel. So we planned it on Sunday. We left on Tuesday. I was back in Dublin the next Sunday. So it was a whirlwind trip. But yeah, he sadly passed away. But his last wishes was to go home and visit his family, and he had 6 amazing weeks with his family by all accounts. So that was a real honor to be part of.
And it was because of
You were
you
able
somehow,
to give
and you
him
were.
that last wish.
Yeah, right, yes. Raymond, was it with you that there was a story? Was it? I don't know if it was a fisherman or something like that. Was there a story there that because they don't get paid well, or there are no, I don't know. Yung ba sa inyo,
There was
Banda? Was that the story?
There was a fisherman that he passed away in a work-related accident, and Raymond was involved with it from the time the fisherman sadly passed away. And when it was brought to court, they asked my help in translating with the family back home. So it was like many hours and weeks, actually years of corresponding between the lawyers in Ireland and the family, his family in the Philippines, and making sure that they get compensated. That's why we went home to help them receive their compensation. At the same time, we also brought home the body of Justine Valdez. That was right. That's right, Raymond.
Yes. Yeah.
Isn't it?
I think it came up in our newspaper. Did you write about it? I can't remember exactly when. This is just
There
Philippines,
was-
and I don't. I think if Vanda has written some, I couldn't remember, but I remember that story. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead,
The case
Raymond.
of
as you were-
Justine Valdez was very, very public. She died in tragic circumstances, and it made international news all over the world. So, Vanda and I done a fundraiser for her family to help with the repatriation. This is ahead of me being appointed as consul. We were both very active in the Filipino community. We done this fundraiser with the goal of raising about €6,000, the cost of the repatriation. So, in the end, we got €180,000.
Wow.
Which gave the family time to grieve. It gave them a chance to. It's an astronomical amount of money, but the circumstances relating to their daughter's death was horrific, and there was no prospect of them working for the foreseeable future. Even now, they're not fully recovered, and it's many years later. So, at the time, we were planning to travel. And by the way, this is at our own expense. We've never been paid or received funding for any of this. So this was our choice. We were planning to go home and meet with the family of the fisherman. This girl passed away, and we just scaled our trip up a little bit to coincide to bring her home at the request of the family. So it was kind of trying to do as much as possible with the time we had. But again, quite a busy and active trip. I think the trip was about a week. And as all of you will know, no one is even considering going home for less than a month. My last two trips were less than 7 days. The last trip was, I think, 4 days. So it's get in, a couple of meetings, and straight back on a plane and get out. And it's not by choice. It's just because the demands of this role and demands of the business doesn't allow me to take extended periods of time away, despite me really, really wanting to sit on a beach anywhere in the Philippines. I don't mind where.
Very commendable, huh? You've done a lot for Filipinos, Peps, kita mo, talagang... he's not even compensated for that, no? Your microphone is off, Peps. Yeah.
At his expense, yeah?
Yeah, and amazing, very challenging, situations for going out of his way, so to speak. Not going the extra mile, but going out of his way to do these things for Filipinos. Before the show, I asked you if you know Tagalog. Probably the question should have been, do you know Bisaya?
Subot ka kamay lang Bisaya.
Oh, okay, look at that. Oh. Wow. So we have a lot of Visayans in the whole of the UK and Europe, no? And the whole wide world, no? Filipinos watching right now. That's good.
We actually have a bigger percentage of Bisaya in Ireland than we do Tagalog. If not, it's 50-50. But there's a lot more nurses recruited from Mindanao than most other regions. So therefore, their family and extended family and children are Bisaya. So there's a significant amount from the Visayas region. Basically, Cebuano or Bisaya speakers are quite highly populated here in Ireland. I also know just enough Bisaya to get the conversation completely wrong. So you have to be careful with me. When it comes to consular questions, people naturally within the office will slip into their dialect. And even in Tagalog, I could pick up most of it, but I'd always answer in English, and I'd always confirm what I believe it is I think they're asking. I'm very conscious that a little bit of knowledge is dangerous, and I know just enough Tagalog and Bisaya for it to be dangerous.
No, but that's very handy. That's very handy, actually. I don't know if you know this.
It is.
But the ambassadors, the British ambassadors, before they're deployed anywhere in the world, to be specific with Laura Bowfields and the one before her, they had to learn Tagalog for a year and a half here at the FCO, Foreign Commonwealth Office. I think it's FCDO now, and it helps, because they have to know the language. And we have this exclusive. We had interviewed her 30 minutes all in Tagalog.
Wow.
Amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, amazing.
Well, Sonny, you
Yes.
mentioned the ambassadors, British ambassadors to the Philippines. Someone who is watching us right now is Luigi Crespo. Their
Luigi.
teachers, yeah? their
Oo,
teacher,
mabuhay.
Luigi, along with Arlie and the rest, no? She's
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
us right now. And binabati niya si hello Vanda, no?
Hello.
Okay. Hello,
Hi.
Vanda.
Yeah.
Sige.
Ana Luisa Crespo, no?
Sige,
Oh,
isa-isa
yes,
natin
thank you
from the
for
beginning.
listening.
Okay, we're gonna go into greetings, and when we come back, we're gonna be calling yung ating mga participants. We're gonna be asking questions on behalf of the Filipino organizations in Ireland, and as we go along, we'll be asking more questions to Raymond, because we'd like to get to know him more, no?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well,
Oo,
yung
sige.
first message was ciao from August Mateo from
Oy, ciao.
Belgium,
Mabuhay.
no?
Oo.
Oh, mabuhay.
Alright. Good afternoon.
And now
Basahin
we
mo
have
to,
a
Peps.
good afternoon to you, both Sunny and Peps. Oh, she's in Abu Dhabi at the moment, no?
Jet setting.
Emmeline Rafael.
Yes, so we have a viewer
Ay,
from
nasa
Abu Dhabi.
ako ngayon,
Yes.
no?
All right.
And
Sige,
then
pasok lang.
also watching today
Elvin de
is
Guzman, Peps.
Ambassador Myla Makahilig,
Yeah.
no, from the Philippines.
Oh,
Ambassador.
hello. Hi, Myla.
Ambassador Myla, no? Ambassador Myla, she's
Si
gonna be...
Minda Harrison. Si
Peps, basahin mo na
Ambassador
tuloy-tuloy.
to
Peps,
the
basahin mo na
Vatican.
sunod-sunod na lang.
Ang dami po, may
Direct,
passport
pakisunod-sunod mo na.
issue sa Dublin, Ireland. Hopefully, magkaroon na ng
Hindi, Edwin Gagarin, sunod-sunod mo na muna.
permanent renewal dito, no? Si Elvin
Ah.
de Guzman, no?
Edwin Gagarin
And
muna.
then,
Edwin de Guzman.
Mabuhay from Virginia, Elona. No?
Oo.
Si Elvin de Guzman, yan, no? Sana may permanent renewal daw dito sa Ireland, no?
Oo.
Mabuhay.
Sige, sunod-sunod rin mo na direct
Virginia,
para
Elona.
yung by sequence na, para ano. Huwag ka nang mag-jump. Don't jump na lang anymore.
Huwag
Just
ka
have
nang
it.
babalik. Pau,
Oo,
no?
tuloy-tuloy na lang. Tuloy-tuloy lang. One by one. Sige, paano lang. Sige, tuloy-tuloy lang. Yung from the sequence, parang sequence natin. Direct yan.
Yeah.
Ayan, please. Ayan.
Please, we need to push Philippine Embassy in UK to come to Ireland and help us renew our passports.
They might, no?
Hey,
Because hindi
Grant.
natin alam.
No?
Because of the pandemic, no? Okay, go ahead. Kit Tupas.
Watching from Belfast, Kit Tupaz.
Kit, mabuhay.
no?
Ayan, oh. Oh, okay. Dapat naging honorary, ano rin yan, consul sa Northern Ireland, no? Ayan.
Ireland
Golda.
represent, no?
Ayan, si Golda.
Golda.
Ano ito? Brains and Beauty and Nurse yan. Nag-guest ko na yan sa The Sunny Laragan Show,
Yeah,
no?
Golda Stephanie
Oo.
Tabios.
Goal is the head of nursing in Ireland.
Yeah,
a
si
big
Golda,
community
no?
group. Yeah.
Okay.
Filipino Nurses Ireland.
Sige, Thea Grant.
Yeah.
Passport
Si Thea Grant,
renewal.
Passport renewal should be the top priority now here in Ireland. Yes.
Okay.
I'll
Alright.
address that in more detail later.
Later,
the-
yes. So in between calls, no? So he's going to address that.
And then also from
Hello,
Golda. Good
Golda.
afternoon, Sir Sunny, Sir Peps, Miss Banda, and Consul Raymond.
Mahusay yan si Golda. Peps Beauty and Brains yan.
Mm-mm.
Oo. Annalisa
Hello,
Rex
good
Legaspi.
afternoon. Annalisa Regaspi.
Regaspi pala. From Limerick. Tama ba yan? Hindi. Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Sige, sunod-sunod nyo. Direct, go. Sige. Next. John Robledo Reyes, Peps.
Yeah. Hi, Sir Sunny and Sir Peps. My regards to you both. Yeah. Regards din sa iyo,
Yes.
John, no?
Okay, sige. Ayan, si...
Hi, Sunny.
Okay. From Limerick, si
From Limerick. Yeah,
Oh,
si Annalisa Regaspi, no?
Yan, Crespo.
Limerick
Yan.
pala siya, no?
Sige. Pasok yan.
It was our
Ayan.
last outreach before the pandemic. Limerick was.
All right. Oh, okay. Okay. So, mabuhay. Mga taga Limerick.
Both, yeah, both so admirable, no? Raymond and Banda. Wow, si Ana Luisa
Yan
Crespo,
pala,
no?
yan pala yung kanyang Mason. MAC pala, hindi S. Mason, yung Mason niya. Yan pala, okay.
MACION.
Si Lani Cuyos Yu, na-interview natin sa Portugal to, Peps. Ang galing niyan.
Hi,
Oo,
greetings from Lisbon, Portugal.
Portugal.
Si Lani Cuyos.
Boa Tarde pala sila. Good afternoon, Boa Tarde. Ayan. Okay, go. Si Van, yan. Si,
Keep
Golda.
up the great work, Consul Raymond and Miss Banda, Filipino nurses in Ireland, si Golda, no?
Okay.
Golda
Sige.
Stephanie.
Ayan.
Saka yung susunod,
Thank you, Golda.
Oo. Esther Epe.
Esther Epe, watching from Dublin. Hello po sa inyong lahat, no?
Mabuhay.
Hello rin sa iyo, Esther.
Gusto kong i-share yung aking no? Okay, good afternoon. Okay. Susan Rosales siguro to. Good afternoon, Sir Sonny, Sir
Si
Peps.
Susan Rosales, no? Good afternoon, Sir Sonny, Sir Peps.
Yeah.
Following your program, greetings from Portugal, no?
Yan ba'y nagayaya sa atin ng riso, ano ba yun? Riso,
Oo,
ano pangalan nun?
papakainin daw tayo, no?
Yan ba yun? Si Sanso,
Yeah,
Susan?
sila, yung grupo nila.
Grupo nila. Okay, mabuhay kayo, ha?
Portugal.
Okay. Alright, Mary Grace de la Cruz, ano yan?
Hello, from County Donegal.
County Donegal. Oh, wow. Alam mo, Peps, when I was there in Ireland, when I first met Raymond, I noticed that the Filipinos in the whole of Republic of Ireland would come from all parts, from the south, from everywhere, and they congregate during that outreach mission, no? And the embassy was really. I was surprised they would have about 3 or 4 outreaches in the whole year. Some, compared to the others,
It
no?
would be-
What
yeah,
you didn't see, Sonny, was Vanda, I, and the team scheduling those from Donegal to make sure that they have enough time to travel. So no one from Donegal or Kerry, the two bottom counties, would be scheduled towards the middle of the day, a chance to get a train in and out. And there was a lot of work in those outreach missions. We had about 400 applicants coming through the door, sometimes up to 5. But that brought in about 1,000 to 1,500 people through the doors, because for some reason, no one traveled alone. But if you bring a Filipino, they invite the barangay, so we'd have food and everything, and it became a social event.
Exactly. They would come by by groups, no, coming over. So,
But coincidentally, your last commenter, Mary Grace, has invited myself to Donegal in
Donegal.
November. Their batch of nurses are 20 years. They're celebrating their 20th anniversary. They arrived as a batch of 80. There's about 30 of them left. And I'm just trying to think and reflect on the impact 30 to 80 nurses would have in a regional hospital in Donegal over 20 years, like the amount of lives that they've touched. And then you could replicate that same statement about any hospital in Ireland, because there's a large number of Filipino nationals within all of the hospitals. So well done to that batch in particular, Mary Grace and her batch, but to all of them as well.
well
She's
done to all.
actually joining us. She's joining us later, and
Ayan. Oo.
she's part of our
Okay.
call.
Okay, we can edit
Sige.
that live and then
Okay, we're gonna Peps, ano ba? We're gonna babasa ka pa ba, or we're gonna have a short break?
Before we go to our break, I would just
Okay.
like to welcome Ambassador Eddie De Vega from Belgium.
Ambassador
who is
Ed De
watching
Vega.
us now.
Si Ambassador
Good afternoon.
Myla Makihilig, mabuhay ka, no? Mabuhay. Mabuhay si Ambassador. We're
Yeah.
talagang excited
Hi,
na kami.
Myla.
We're looking forward to see you in the Vatican, no? Tagal naman, naiinip na nga kami ni Peps, no? But yeah, ganun talaga eh.
Yeah.
Hopefully by October,
Okay.
she's gonna be there. Oy, maraming salamat sa World Remit. Thank you very much for, without World Remit, padala na ho kayo. Mabilis, safe, and and secure. And nasa hindi ka na kailangan pumunta pa sa mga lalabas ng bahay. Doon ka lang sa couch mo. You can just do it online. So very, very convenient. Okay, we're gonna have a short break. Peps and I, we're gonna be back. Pagbalik ho namin, we're gonna be getting to know our kababayans, no, in Ireland, who are gonna be asking some questions to Raymond, to our honorary consul, Raymond, and of course, our senior consultant, si Vanda. Wag ho kayong alis. Kami po ni Peps at kaming apat ay magbabalik saglit po lamang.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Okay, nagbabalik yung ating palatuntunan. Ito po yung embassy nating kaibigan mo sa Ireland. It's very interesting. It's a welcome, parang surprise, no? Knowing about our honorary consul, that he's lived in the Philippines for over 6 years, or sometimes 6 years, and he knows a bit of Visayan. And tunay na Pinoy. He's like not only honorary consul, but I guess we can call him make him and even brand him as an honorary Pinoy, no? Di ba, Peps? No?
Yeah.
Imagine
Talaga
mo, no?
namang Pinoy na Pinoy. Kita
Pinoy,
mo, nagsalita pa
Liceo.
ng Bisaya kanina, no?
Okay.
He was able
Oo
to
nga.
greet us in Bisaya
Oo.
earlier. But Nakakatuwa
Children
naman,
are
no?
Pinoy, di ba? Kaya nga Philippish, ano ba yan? Philippish, right? Dito kasi Philbrit, Philam, di ba? Ganyan ang mga ano, di ba? That's how you, Phil-Aussie, di ba? Filipino-Aussie, ganyan, Australian.
sa Republic, I've only been to two places, ano? Dublin and Wicklow, County Wicklow. And I
Oh.
enjoyed both places, no? Kung
Yeah,
gusto mo
wow.
ng busy, doon sa Dublin. Kung gusto mo naman ng serene, rural, Wicklow, no?
Pero alam mo, Peps, I noticed there's a pub in the middle of Dublin that I think if yung mga short Filipinos shouldn't be going eh. You know why? Yung jingle, how do you call it? Urinal or whatever. Yung when you go to the men's room, it's so high. Yung ano, ang taas. Magugulat ka pagka maliit kang tao, hindi pa pwede. Tanongin natin si Raymond. Raymond, are Irish people really that tall? Because I was telling Peps that when I went to a pub there, and some Pinoy are short. Ay, yung audio niya, direct, walang audio si Raymond. Hello, yes, Raymond. Ate na, kasi audio ni Direk. On mo muna, Direk, yan. Okay, go ahead, Raymond.
Yeah, I picked up the question. I don't think there's any difference between the average height in Ireland or the UK or most of Europe. It may have been a particular pub. When you come out with a statement like there's this one pub in Dublin, I think half of the people in Dublin will roll their eyes. There's this one pub on every road or every other road. So it's commonly known in Ireland you can't ask directions without using a pub as a reference point. So regardless of what part of the country you're in, when you ask for directions, someone will use a pub as a landmark. And if you take those pubs out of the equation, then there's almost no way of knowing where you're going.
Everybody will be
We've
lost.
plenty of pubs.
I love Dublin. Peps, I love Dublin. You know why? When I rode the bus, I was on the bus and I was saying, where can I go for, singing, live singing? There's a whole strip in Dublin, right? You have a lot of just this band singing, country songs, folk songs.
Buskers, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
They're inside bars. Inside the bars. I forgot the name of the.
Even coffee shops. I saw a coffee shop there, wherein they had a female folk singer
Yeah.
in the afternoon.
There are
And that was in the afternoon. I said, wow.
yeah, Irish
Most likely
music
you
is
both
very
went to
much
Temple Bar.
yeah. And Irish music is very much celebrated and shared here in Ireland. So you'd see it a lot, even mostly as well in the countryside. But yes, Dublin would have it as well.
Okay, Raymond, you've been to the Philippines. You love the Philippines. If you were to be proud of your country and probably talk about landmarks, we would ask the ambassadors, what are the food? What food is common there? What are the areas that are beautiful in your area? Hungary or whatever, Denmark, whatever. They would mention those. But you, for example, Raymond, you're an Irish, Republic of Ireland. If you're trying to sell Dublin or Ireland, what's so beautiful? Where would you bring a new batch of Filipinos coming over?
There's the obvious big landmarks. So outside of Dublin, we have the Cliffs of Moher, giant cliffs looking onto the Atlantic Ocean. The next stop after them is the US. So that's an obvious one. As a proud Irishman, I consider the whole island of Ireland. Although Northern Ireland is technically part of Britain, but for me, it's the island of Ireland. So I'd head straight up to the Giant's Causeway, up past Belfast, the County Antrim, to the Giant's Causeway. It's a geographical rock formation. Amazing, absolutely amazing. It's in Ireland, Scotland, and Korea. Is the only places I'm aware of that this particular geographic location is. Then you've countless castles all over the country, scattered all over, and depending on what it is you're interested in looking at, you could see a ruin in Blarney Castle, a very, very historic castle in County Cork. You could then travel on to the Ring of Kerry, which is some of the most spectacular scenery in the world. The ending scene of Star Wars was shot down in that area. and the Skellig Michael Islands. But then within Dublin itself, for a city break, there's a lot to see. We have the remains of St. Valentine, which is just walking distance from my home. That's a little secret. Wouldn't be high up on the tourist attractions, but the remains of St. Valentine is on Ainger Street, just a stone's throw from where I'm living myself. But we've endless amounts of activities in Ireland.
Well,
I
St.
would-
Patrick.
Plenty to see
suggest-
for people who
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to come here.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would suggest, like, when I bring my family over or friends over to go to Guinness Storehouse, obviously, because the Guinness
Ah,
is
yeah, Guinness,
very
yes.
Irish, and of course the Irish dancing. There's lots as well. Irish dancing is really very impressive to watch, and also again, Irish music is so big. So those are the things that they should really come and see.
Yeah,
in Ireland.
you too, the chorus, and also the song
Yes.
Take me to church, tan tan, take me to church. All right, eto na Peps. Pero ando pala si Saint Valentine pala, andun remains niya, because I know that the patron saint of Ireland is Saint Patrick, but you've got Saint Valentine. That's quite interesting. I'm gonna check that out when I go back to Dublin. No, of
we
course
can
you have
go
the
there on
you have got the
Valentine's
needle.
Day.
Yeah, exactly. Valentine's. There's the what do you call this? The needle.
The
Yeah, in
spire.
the middle.
The spire,
Spire.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That's
in the middle. Yeah, and the
And of
revolution.
course, when it comes
yeah.
to food, you have to taste Irish stew.
Wow. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And they say if you brought back the Irish from the U.S., Ireland will sink. No, if you brought back all the the Irish from America.
I think Ireland and the Philippines have many links like that. We have about 80 million people outside of Ireland that have Irish heritage, and I think you're in the same kind of region, maybe more if you count the second generation. But we had a lot of people left the country many years ago. Our population just hit 6 million for the first time since the 1800s, when there was a famine. So, we're only really recovering from a major famine where more than half the people in the country died in the late 1800s.
All right. Okay. Wow. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. So we're going to be having, let's open the lines now, Raymond and Vanda, to our kababayans. Your kababayans. No, our kababayans, yeah, of course. Although they're based in Ireland, they are, of course, Filipinos. Okay. Unahin natin Peps, sino ba to? Si Rolando Espina, no?
Si Rolando, he's been there.
He's been there. Yeah, I don't know if he's happy being there for a long time, no? But let's ask him. Rolando, kumusta ka na? Nakangiti na siya kagad, no? Hindi pa nag-ano.
I'm good.
You're good.
I'm
Oh.
good po. I'm good. I'm very good.
How long have you been there? How long have you lived? Why did you go there?
Oh, I've been living in Ireland for 20 years now. Obviously, I went here for a job. I'm a nurse. So, I work in St. Vincent's Hospital now for 20 years.
Okay, 20 years. Wow, 20 years. Okay, may
Nurse pala siya,
isasama.
nurse.
Nurse ka
I'm
pala.
home away from home. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
but your wife is a Filipina, right?
She is. Yeah, and she's a nurse as well.
All right. So who arrived? Who arrived
I came first.
You came first, and then she applied as a nurse as well.
Actually, she went here as a tourist that time. You know the way the Filipinos wants to go to America, and we thought that Ireland is a good base for us to train and work before going to America. But then when she came over, she kind of liked it here, and then we just decided that this is where we're going to live.
So she was a tourist then, and then she was.
She was.
Okay, and then you sort of made an in-country change of her visa.
No. What you mean? She came over as a tourist here while I was working.
Yeah.
And then she kind of likes the country, obviously Dublin. And then I asked her if she wants to work here, and it was easy to work that time or to apply that time because there's no IELTS needed and all those. And Ireland really needs nurses at that time. So I just I actually talked to our director of nursing, if my wife can apply, and she said, "Oh yeah, where is she?" And our director says, I said that she's actually here as a tourist, and she just said to me casually that bring her over and we can interview her right away. And after a few days, she had her interview, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
The reason why I asked that is because for a while, I don't know if Raymond's aware of this. There were a lot of nurses in Ireland who were coming over to the UK, because at the time when they started, the spouses cannot work. I don't know if you're aware, they cannot
Yes.
work, and that was sort of
Yes.
the turn
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
That was a turn off thing, and that's the reason why I asked you. You arrive as a tourist. Was she able to change in country? Apply? Did she have a work permit as well, or was she a dependent? Because if she was a dependent, she wouldn't be able to work. I think
Yes, but
that was the
she's
reason.
different.
Yeah,
Because she's a
sorry, go
nurse
ahead.
And she's needed at that time.
All right. So she applied as a nurse. So from a tourist visa, they were able to change it in country within Ireland, right?
No, but she has to go home to.
Sure. Okay. So
Yeah.
all right.
But she was
So
interviewed here in Dublin.
I know. Okay. So she came in not as a spouse or a dependent, but as a nurse eventually, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hired. Okay. All right. Okay. So malinaw na yan. Okay. At least nakilala ka namin 20 years. Wow, that's quite a long time. Kung 20 years yan, ano yan? 1991, 91, tama?
2001.
Sorry,
2001.
2001. Oh, mali ang ano ko. 2001. Tama yan. 2000 because 21 ngayon, 2001. Okay. So, okay naman.
think
Enjoy ka
the
ba?
first-
Okay ba? Are you happy? You're excited? Tuwan-tuwa ka na dyan dahil for you to stay for 20 years, no?
Oh, very happy. We're very happy. I have 3 kids here, and Ireland is home away from home, and this is our place now.
When you say 3
I
kids,
think,
all manufactured in Ireland? All made in Ireland?
My eldest actually was born in the Philippines. She came over to us. She came over to Ireland when she was 2.5. Now she's working in Netherlands. She finished her
23,
college,
almost
so
23, 24 years old na siya ngayon.
She's 22 now. Yeah, and she's in Netherlands working as a
okay.
project manager. So happy with her.
Sige, Rolando, we have Raymond. Baka you have a question for and on behalf for your kababayans. You might have a direct question or for your kababayans. Teka muna, ano ka ba? May photo pinapakita si Direk dito. Ano bang meron dito? Direk, ano ba pinapakita mo? You were showing a photo. Ito ba siya? Kasama ba siya sa mga bisikleta? Are you a part of this, Rolando?
Oh yeah, we're actually part of EPIC, which is Endurance Irish Pinoy Club.
Endurance Philippines. Bakit endurance?
Mainly because we're into endurance sports. It's like challenging sports, really, like ultra marathons, triathlons, and
Wow. Galing.
long mileage cycling. It's all about long distance running,
Okay.
cycling.
All
and
right.
swimming.
How much is the most expensive bicycle amongst you guys?
I don't know. Maybe
$5,000 pounds or euros? 2,000 euros?
I would say one of my colleagues one of my friends have a 10 grand bike.
Wow! 10,000
Wow.
grand. Euros? 10,000 euros?
I
Wow!
wouldn't buy one.
Can
Wow.
I say something?
Yeah, Vanda, go ahead.
Sunny. Yeah,
Yeah.
just to give a bit of a background. Rolando has been
Hello po.
hello, kamusta?
Thank you.
The background here was I was trying to pick different kinds of groups. No, there are around maybe the first Filipino community group was formed in 1980. That's called the Filipino-Irish Association. And then later on, naging marami na yung mga groups. Mostly yung mga groups ngayon, just to give a background before we call in the others, there are so many groups here in Ireland that were very active years ago. And they're mostly either regional, they all speak Visayan or all Tagalog or Ilocano or Bisaya or different kinds of groups. And then meron tayong sports, itong si Rolando, that's why I picked him. And then merong mga by industry, may Filipino Nurses Ireland, tsaka meron tayong dairy farmers actually, pero wala siya ngayon. Meron din tayong group of dairy farmers. And then Lumad nga Bisaya later on. And then yung sa Donegal, which is by
Galing.
county. Just to give you a background. Pero
Okay,
ito
wow.
si Rolando was also very active during the COVID pandemic. He was emergency ka, di ba? Sa ER.
A&E?
ICU po. ICU.
ICU,
ICU,
intensive
yes.
care unit. Okay.
And then at the same time, we met him as well in one of the events where he was with other triathletes. Remember that, Raymond? They came to an event. I think it was
Yes.
a multicultural event, and there were 4 of them competing internationally, representing the Philippines. So that's why I invited him over. I invited him today.
There are 4 of them. Rolando? Ano yan? Filipinos competing for the Philippines, not for Ireland?
One of our colleagues, actually, Mike Gonda, he is going to represent Ireland in the this month, actually, in the World's Age Group Triathlon in Netherlands. So he's one of our leaders in Epic, and he's
Okay.
going to represent Ireland.
Okay. Well, Raymond, perhaps si Raymond mukhang very lucky, no? He's got all of these Filipinos very cooperative. They love him. They help him with Vanda and the rest of the ano, no? Mukhang very maganda ang samahan diyan sa Ireland, no? Very very nakakainggit, no? Okay. Rolando, sige, you've got a question siguro ano yan, for and behalf of your kababayans or a personal question, man?
Yes. And well, in behalf of our team and our kababayans as well.
Oh, go ahead,
That's
please.
okay.
Yes. Raymond, please meet. I don't know if you know him, Rolando. Yeah, you met before, probably.
I know well. I start sweating every time Rolando. I get breathless walking up the stairs, and Rolando runs multiple marathons in a day.
Endurance
so, yes,
guy.
I know exactly who he is.
Oh, okay. Orlando, yeah. What's your question? Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Hello po, Kunsol.
Hello.
My first question po is how can our endurance sports club link with the consulate in order for us to encourage, motivate, and introduce healthy living, may it be indoors or outdoor sports, especially in time of pandemic? And the other question is that it's probably going to be easier for us if we had that link, and just because last year we were able to raise 2,300 euro during Typhoon Ulysses. But it probably would be better if we link with the consulate. It will be, it'll be bigger. So yeah, I think that's pretty much the question that I'm going to ask first. Thank you.
Wow. Perhaps this is difficult.
Yeah.
Imagine. I don't think a lot of people will be able to do endurance, but if we, why not? But yeah, answering the question, the consul.
Well, first of all, like I say this every time we've met and every time we've correspondence, I'm truly amazed at the fact that your bodies do this. I know my body will never do anything like this. So well done on
Kabili PEPS. Oh, yeah,
the fact
well
that you
done.
can physically do it. But in relation to linking directly with the consulate, the consulate's open to everyone. It's not a consulate for people we know. It's not a consulate for the nurses. It's not a consulate for the accountants or the fishermen. It's a consulate for everyone. So we're here for all. Our main remit is to provide you with the consular services that are within our remit. And that's our main purpose. On the broader question of how can your activities help the community, I think like if you guys were willing to bring the youth in or those interested in participating in not really a full-on marathon, but a kind of taster course to see if they were interested in it, definitely we'd facilitate that, because that's the greater good. Linking directly to one group in relation to fundraising, I don't think it's something that would work, because it links the fundraising then directly back to the DFA, and it would require a lot of bureaucratic procedures in order for that to happen. But on a smaller scale, if you're having a fundraiser for a charity, like, let us know, we'll promote it through our social media. And that's really the main way we could help, through information dissemination. If you wanted to run a sample course, or I'm so unfit, I don't even know the words you use for the type of activities you do, but if you wanted to have a mini endurance session or something to see if these Filipinos that are considering it are interested in it, and explain the benefits of it. I'm sure you sleep like a baby after running 100 kilometers in a day. I sleep like a baby after driving 100 kilometers in a day, so I can only imagine how I'd feel after running. And that's something you do on a regular basis. So there's definitely an aspect of that could help the wider community. It may be a little bit niche, but there's aspects of that many people within a very demanding role like your own, such as nursing or the engineers or the fishermen or the accountants, could take an aspect of that. So it would really be passing it back to you, saying, why don't you come up with a program that you feel would help your kababayan, and tell us how we can help you by promoting it and encouraging participants from all over the country. It may be a case that you use the consulate network to bring other running clubs or sports related clubs together for a mini Filipino endurance day of some sort. Like these are the just idea I got just after hearing the question, but the network
Yeah.
of information dissemination is there for the community to use, and that's what it's
Yeah.
there. It's there for everyone.
I just wanted to add,
Okay.
Rolando, I don't know if you're familiar that the consulate in October during the pandemic, they formed a community integration group led by Aina and Wendell. Wendell is also into sports. He's the community engagement officer.
Oh yeah, Wendell, I know.
And he was planning, it was planned to have like a sports event, but obviously because of the pandemic this has been postponed. But if anything, feel free to contact Wendell and inform them if you have any plans. I'm sure there will be other groups as well, because sports is very universal. Everyone would be very willing to help
Exactly,
and
yeah.
support it.
No, but this is a very niche, like what Raymond said. This is a niche group in a way. If you can probably add one or two or three, that's a lot better than nothing, right, Rolando? But because it's difficult, stamina, endurance. When you talk of endurance, probably your pulse rate is probably 40, 50. Well, what's your pulse rate? 60?
It's about 50, yeah.
Oh, imagine 50. Not everybody has 50. We have 80, 90. But unlike you, you're so fit. Very,
But
very
I
fit.
definitely think there's aspects to what you're doing that could help the wider community, and it would be a bit of giving back, a community spirit, that we have really elite sportsmen here. We have a group of Filipino elite sportsmen and women. Sorry, I noticed in the photos, but I've only met the guys. So we have elite sports people here that are willing to give something back. So there's definitely a conversation you could have as a group to see, could we develop a program for nurses,
Yeah.
for the other workers that are out there that could help them. And yes, link up with the other community groups, because I think if there's another 20 community groups, there may be 2 or 3 that would be close to the level you're at, that may they may be pulled back because of the ability of their teammates, but joining a team like yours would push them forward. So I definitely think it's a conversation worth having.
Awareness. It's nice to have awareness about your group, what you do. People can, what are these guys doing? And they get to be interested. So mag-usap tayo Rolando. Gawa tayo ng konting parang feature, bahala na, no? Basta parang interesting yan, because imagine, no? This is my first time to hear of people, of Pinoys who are into endurance sports or fitness, no? Because I know when I was running, my pulse rate went down, pero that I can't, unlike you guys, you are so fit, no? Okay. May tanong ka pa ba? O okay na yun?
That's it probably, yeah. Thank you so much.
Sige.
Sir.
Maraming
Thank you
salamat,
very
ha?
much, Rolando. No?
Maraming salamat, Rolando, ha? Okay. Mabuhay ka.
After talking to Rolando, I'm a little
Breathless?
embarrassed. Yeah,
Bakit?
because last Friday, I broke my record as to the number of steps I did last
Oh.
Friday.
Oh, well done.
What, 10? 10?
You know
20?
how much I did?
Oh, yes. 20, 50?
135.
Wow.
No, 135 steps. And
You
that's
broke your
from
record.
morning until the evening, yeah? So it was just sitting room watching the telly, to the toilet, back to the sitting room, to the dining room, back 135 steps, I was so embarrassed I had to do 50 the following day, to
Yeah,
rest.
one quick question. How were you inspired to do this? Quickly lang, what got you into this? Because somehow Raymond is willing to, to their social media, to their promotional, whatever, that they can, help you with, but how did you get into this? Quickly lang.
Well, okay. Actually, I used to play basketball, but then I got my knee injured, So I got ballooned. I was overweight and developed kind of mild hypertension. So I need to find another sport. So luckily, my Irish colleague introduced me to running, and it started in 2009 and never looked back.
And you no longer have your hypertension. It's gone away.
No.
It's wala na.
It's gone the wind.
Very good. Very good. Now that's an inspiration. Okay, fantastic. Maraming salamat, Rolando. Mabuhay ka. Ha? Sige.
Thank you.
Thank you, ha? Oo, nakita
Thank
mo
you,
si Peps.
Rolando.
Peps will now be inspired to have 200 steps now, no? From now on. Maraming salamat. Thank you. Ayan, imagine. Well,
Thank you
that's
po.
parang yeah,
Thank
parang
you.
anong sports yung mga ganyan, parang Peps, ibang klase yun, no? It's so difficult.
They are really very very extreme sport enthusiasts talaga sila, and we were shocked when we met them na they compete
Oo nga.
internationally. Talagang
Well,
ano sila, it's not a joke.
Yes. Oo. Rolando, bigyan natin yung line natin, open natin. So, because that's the line that the others use. Sige, thank you, ha? Sige, mag-out ka na muna sa line mo. Okay, thank you.
Exit ka na
Exit ka na muna. Yeah, so we can make way for the next
para
one.
makapasok yung iba. No?
Para makapasok iba. Okay. Nako, hindi natin napatay muna
thank
yun.
you, no? Meron mga
Audio lang.
messages dito, no?
Yes.
While we're waiting for the next
Audio.
caller.
Yep. Right. Go ahead. Pep, saan na ba yung ating
Andiyan na ba?
Hindi pa. Sige, but you are, yeah, hello from County Donegal, ayan. Mary Grace de la Cruz. Oo,
And
sige.
then after that, no, from County Donegal, si Saher Elba Rawi.
Sandali, Peps. Yan, good. Okay, good.
Yung susunod. Next one.
Yan. Good afternoon. Great
Yeah,
job.
good afternoon.
I
Saher
think-
is from the Egyptian
Great
embassy.
job,
We've
Mr.
way
Raymond.
better audience than you know.
All right, Egyptian Embassy. Hey, Sahir, good afternoon.
Saka alam niya, no? Raymond
Yes.
Christopher Garrett.
Wow, he's got the name complete. Raymond Christopher Garrett. Indeed, a very good
And
friend.
the next
Oh,
one
okay.
is from Catherine De Castro Palmiano.
Sige. Okay.
Uy, si Kathy, friend ko
Ayan.
yan.
That's a beauty
hi,
inside, out of Banda.
Banda.
Raymond, you're an amazing person. Thank you so
Yes.
much, both and the rest of the team, for helping all Filipinos watching here in County
County
Cavan.
Cavan.
Caban.
Yeah.
Caban.
Cavan.
Palmiano family.
Cavan.
Peps Palmiano family.
Palmiano.
Palmiano.
Hello,
Yeah.
Kathy.
Italiano siguro ito.
Palmiano.
Palmiano.
Palmiano. Sa
And
Caban,
then
marami
from
bang
Rudy
Pilipino sa Caban?
Samson.
Marami Pilipino dyan sa Caban? It's
Mga
Rudy Samson.
350.
Marami na. Good. Sino yan?
Hi, Sir
Sunny.
Sunny, Sir Pep, Sir Raymond, and Ma'am watching.
Wow.
Ano
Okay,
yung
mabuhay.
season?
Okay, but
Cause-
anyway. Yan. All right, si
Marion
De La Cruz. Ayos. That's it.
Hello po sa inyong lahat. Greetings from all Filipino aircraft technician here in Shannon, Ireland.
Wow. Shannon,
Oh,
Ireland.
Wow, it's
Hello.
an industry I didn't
It's a
even
new-
know existed there.
All
Yeah,
Filipino
it's a new
aircraft technician. That's good. Wow.
Yeah, here in
Hello,
Shannon,
Marion.
Marian,
Ireland.
I'd love to hear more about that. If you could get in touch with the consulate, we'd love to hear
technician
about
of what?
Filipino aircraft technician.
Ryanair? Ryanair. Working for Ryanair?
Ang Shannon, a long time ago, all flights always passed by Shannon, you know?
Right.
That's
All
before the jet.
flights from the US. Yeah, all flights
Yeah,
from the
all
US.
flights from the
They
US
fly from
going,
mainland Europe
To mainland.
Yeah.
Okay, to Shannon.
because it's the
First
nearest
point of
international
landing was
airport to the
Shannon.
US.
Okay, first port of land. Okay. Oh.
Come Away With Me, one of the musicals, is about Shannon, you know, when there was an emergency landing in Shannon. Even though the airport was not open anymore for lots of commercial flights, they had to reopen it for that flight, you know, because of
Okay,
uh,
yeah. Right,
that's
right.
Shannon.
Galing.
And then from L'Oreal Kinsella, watching from County Carlo.
Who do we have next Vanda to ask the next,
The next
para
one is
ano siya, baka hindi aware na we cannot see
Pumasok na ba?
Okay.
Wala pa, kaya nga pinaano ko. Wala pa. Ano
Si
pangalan ng
Ringo.
susunod?
Ringo Olivario is from the Lumad nga Bisaya group.
Wala pa. Ringo, pasok ka na.
Kami,
Naka-standby kami. Kamin ka na. Sige, habang nagbabasa kami ni Peps. Sige.
Si Randy Siponco, no? Ramon Gueco Siponco, mabuhay from Stockton-on-Tees.
Oh, that's UK. That's England.
Yeah.
Tama?
UK yan.
That's England. Yes.
Okay, no?
All right. Sige. Pep, pasok natin lahat yan. Noriel Kinsella from County Carlo.
County Carlo. Malayo ba yan? Where is
Noriel-
County Carlo?
Hindi, Lucy Sampson. Pero before that, Noriel Kinsella, no? And Raymond,
watching
Sir
from
Raymond,
County
meron po bang
Carlo,
visa as trailer truck driver? How to apply as trailer truck visa? Ano yun?
I think he's talking about Irish immigration. So that's a little bit outside my remit, but it would be the Irish Immigration Service. You'd be applying for.
Is
You
it
Google
like-
Irish Immigration Service.
Okay.
That's it.
Is it like a shortage list? Like, for example, the UK has a shortage list, for example, senior
Yes.
carers. So that's one of those, like a trailer truck driver.
I'd need to check. As far as I know, a trailer track driver is on the list of eligible jobs, but it's not something I'd ever give advice on because the list changes regularly. I don't check it regularly. I check it when I have a very specific need to check it. So the information I'm working on is probably 2 or 3 months old.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
And because
I
it's
could-
outside of the scope of my work, I'm not really advisable to listen to.
I have,
Okay.
I have looked
Yeah,
into that. I have looked into that a bit. There is a high demand now of drivers in Ireland now, Raymond, because I'm looking into recruitment at the moment, and drivers are in demand, and there's a lot anyway. They're
Okay.
looking for drivers.
So there is because Raymond was saying it might have been 2 or 3 months that he's last check. So things change. Month per
But
month, week per week.
definitely one thing for everyone to do is you definitely don't ever pay money to a recruiter for a job in Ireland or the UK. The job should be listed on the website. If you're applying,
All right. Nag-freeze yan, Peps, nag-freeze lahat yata. Teka muna. May switch mo sa akin direct na switch mo muna sa akin habang wala pa. Ayan. Wala na.
Okay.
We're frozen. Everybody is frozen. Okay.
We're back.
We're back. Okay.
We're back.
Sige, meron tayo. We're back with somebody right now, Peps. But I'll wait for our stream to go regular. Medyo merong konting sa stream natin. Okay. Sige, bago babatiin. Okay, we have somebody. Ringo Olivario is actually ready now. No? Tingnan natin. Tingin ko lang. Yan, okay na.
Ayan.
Ringo,
Okay, we're back.
Kilkenny, Ireland. Ringo, magandang hapon sa iyo. Ang ganda ng pangalan mo. Ringo Star, no? Similar. Hi, Ringo. Hi, Ringo. Hi, Ringo. Hello, Ringo. Hello, Ringo. Baka nanonood siguro siya ng Facebook, siguro.
I think he's watching.
He's watching Facebook. Ringo, wag ka manood ng Facebook. You have to talk to us live and direct, no?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear us? Hi, Ringo.
Hello.
Can you hear us? Loud. Kailangan don't watch the Facebook the show. Hello, Ringo.
Yes, you can. Yes, I can.
Don't watch the show. That's what we're saying. Don't watch the show. Sige. I-off mo muna yun.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, don't watch the show. Watch. We have a direct link. Yun dapat ang gamitin mo. Are you watching Facebook and the link all at the same time on the same computer? Baka nanonood siya from the same eh. Baka sabay yun. Ayan, he's late with his reply eh. Pabalik mo. Direct, i-switch mo sa atin.
No, I'm actually using my phone.
Oh, but you're so delayed. Bukas pa tayo matatapos mag-usap nito. Sasagot ka sa amin after 30 seconds. Kanyan, delayed yan. Delayed ka masyado. Okay.
Hello.
Delayed. Teka muna. Direct, i-out natin siya because Ringo, if you're watching right now, it has to be, switch off your Facebook. Direct siya ka. Huwag kang manood wag kang sumagot sa amin sa computer, no? Delayed talaga sa net. Okay, alright. Sa kanya. Pasok na lang uli. Yan, may narinig tayong boses. Okay, Peps, baka may mga pagbati. Pasok ka uli, Ringo. Baka may nanonood sa'yo. Baka masyado kang delayed, no? Delayed masyado. Yeah, hindi tayo magkakaintindihan. Bukas pa tayo matatapos mag-usap. Alright.
Si Gracie Matarage,
Teka
or
na.
Matarage.
Si Noriel. Hindi mo pa napasok Noriel Kinsella.
Can you hear me?
That is it. Yeah. Noriel Kinsella. Yeah, hi. Watching from County Carlo. Yeah, can you hear us? Yeah, we can hear you, but can you hear us? Can you hear us? Mali. Teka muna. Patayin mo na muna yan, tapos mag-ano ka lang. Patayin mo na yung Facebook. Kailangan doon ka sa mismong link na binigay sa'yo. Doon ka namin dapat makausap ng real time, kung tawagin. Real time. Okay. Yeah, so watching from County Carlo. Sige, direct. Ano pa ba mo? Pero patayin mo yung audio niya. Andiyan pa siya eh. Nadidinig ko. Lumalabas yung audio niya. Pumapasok direct. Asa ba? Andiyan ba siya? Nandiyan pa ba siya? Sige, baba mo pa direct. Wala na ba siya? Asa na ba? Ayun, wala na. So, balik ka uli.
Next one.
Okay, next one. Sige, go ahead. Gracie, Bataragi.
Next message.
Gracie, yes.
Yeah, si Gracie, no?
Mhm.
Yan. When they will start again the visa for foreigners. Sa Philippines siguro yan, ano?
When will they start the visa for foreigners?
Yeah.
Oh.
to
Well,
the
I guess
Philippines.
it's once the Philippines controls COVID, the DFA will make a decision based on the local information. That's pretty much the same worldwide. Like Ireland restricted entry in the same way the Philippines did. So at the moment, only Filipinos or visa holders can get it. And to be a visa holder, you need special circumstances. But Filipinos or Balikbayans or the spouse families of Filipinos can now enter the Philippines. But they need to be really meticulously careful with their documentation. So a foreign national wishing to enter the Philippines with their Filipino spouse needs to bring evidence of their relationship. If they're a father or a mother of a Filipino child, they need to show evidence of their relationship. So the Philippines is still open, but at the moment, with COVID being so rampant and new quarantines being restricted, they really need to be meticulous about that. And importantly, another one is it's not only getting into the Philippines, it's traveling onto the province. So there's also regional restrictions from place to place. So the vow, again, this is not something I'd be looking at constantly because it's not something I'd be looking at every single region. But I know someone traveling to the vow has a 10-day quarantine in the Philippines, travel to the vow, another 10-day quarantine. This is despite being fully vaccinated and having a PCR test before traveling. So it's just the nature of the situation we're in with COVID.
Okay, let's try if Ringo is available. Pero parang frozen to. Ringo, how are you? Hello? Ringo? Can we probably
He's
let's
still playing the drums.
Oo nga, let's
I
jump
can-
to the
I
let's jump to
can
the
tell
next
about-
one. Oh, but
Yeah.
there's a problem with his net. I think he's back home in the Philippines eh. Mahina daw ang ng net yata. Okay, can we have the next one? Yung susunod after the Ringo, probably later on pagka okay na si Ringo. Ringo, wag ka na muna pumasok. Yes, okay po. Anong yes? Sino okay? Yung kasunod na muna. Let's try the next one. Okay, so how was it Raymond,
the
during the
next
time of during the pandemic, how was it? How were there problems like in the UK? I think we have so many deaths, reports of death, casualties, a lot of Pinoys nurses who passed away, died. How was the situation during the height of the pandemic in Ireland?
It was difficult. It was difficult for everyone. It was no more difficult here than anywhere else. I would say we had a complete lockdown. We had a number of phases of lockdowns. Filipino nurses make up about 5% of the population of the healthcare system, roughly speaking. We were blessed in we didn't have the statistical number of deaths that we should have had. There was a lot of healthcare workers that passed away, and thankfully we didn't have that 5%, which we were blessed. And I honestly think it's down to the professionalism of the Filipino workers and the training they've had. Many of the Filipino workers here are not just regular nurses, they're specialized nurses in the ICU, in the A&E and the specialized units. And well, sadly, it was horrific. We've lost a number of Filipinos, and some of them
Wow.
were really horrific circumstances. There's one particular case, the mum passed away a few years previous, and then the father was a care worker and passed away and left 3 orphans. So that was a horrific case, really, really horrific case. Thankfully, Ina Conway of the Kildare Filipino community and also an officer in the consulate was there to lead the rally around the family and the family and support. There was a fundraiser. This was again national news. A Filipino man went into work trying to assist other people, picked up COVID, and sadly passed away, leaving 3 orphans. So the family got a great deal of support from the Kildare Filipino community, headed by Ina Conway, and it was really for me. I was so proud to be to be consul at the time, having such strong support being given to those who really need it the most. And it was a very, very difficult time, but it was rewarding at the same time to see such strong community spirit. Any minor problems are just pushed aside, and it was okay. How can we help? What can we do to help? And we're here to help, and that's it. Just get on with it and give the help that's needed. So it made me really proud for that, and it offset the sleepless nights due to COVID and all the other restrictions that were in place.
Okay, okay, we had somebody, meron na tayong kasama rito, Peps, no? From Dublin, Ireland. Uy, ganda ng kanyang pangalan. Lorna Patindol. Lorna, magandang hapon sa'yo.
Yes, good afternoon, Sir Raymond, Miss Vanda. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
to
Lorna.
Sir Peps and Sir Sonny, and to everyone who's watching online. Good afternoon to all of you.
Right, ikaw ba ang sister ni Lorna? Lorna Uy Lorna, yung sa ano? You? Ikaw ba yan? Hindi.
Oh, yeah, I am the sister of Lani. Lani,
Si Lani, sir. Lani,
Yeah, the one
oo.
based in Portugal. Yes, yeah.
Ang galing ng Peps, matatalino yung mga pamilya na you, no? Kaya, yan. Pero you ba yan? Ano ba surname nyo? Ano ba ang apelido niya pareho ni...
My middle name is Cuyos, Cuyos.
Kuyos. Ang galing, ha? Oo, talino
Yes,
ng kapatid
yeah.
niya. Ang ganda ng kanyang delivery ng question last time. Si Lani. Okay, how did you end up there? We're just curious, we want to find out, kababayan. Just getting to know you as well. Not only Raymond here, no? But I don't know if you've heard the story of Raymond. 6 years pala siya sa Pilipinas, mahigit yata, no? And he studied there. Imagine mo yan, no? So Lorna, ikaw, how did you get there? And why did you...
Actually, it was my husband who arrived here first in Ireland, and it was in the year 2001. So it was him, and then he's a nurse, and then by the year 2004, I and our 2 children just followed to join him. So I'm here already in Ireland since 2004, and then it's about 2017 years already.
How was the
So
problem?
it's just to join my husband. Yeah.
Okay, so join, dependents, no? Dependent.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
But I was telling Raymond and Vanda earlier, there was this like an issue before wherein there were a lot of nurses from Ireland coming over to the UK to work kasi the spouses cannot work. Ikaw ba, you wanted to work but you couldn't work, or were you just caring for the kids?
That's true. When I came in here, actually, no, I can work, but it was so hard for me to find work because I am not a nurse. So I work in the Philippines. I work in the human resources management side. So it's very hard to find a work here. So when I arrived here for 3 months, I didn't have any work. But then eventually, with the help of some consultants in the hospital, so I was able to find work due to recommendation. So now I am connected in one of the hospitals here in Dublin.
Okay, fantastic. Do you have any group like the other one? Si Rolando had
Yes,
this
yeah.
endurance group.
Yeah.
What's your group? Anong grupo mo?
Okay, yeah. I am representing the group called Santo Niño Ireland. So it's
Wow.
a devotion to the
Okay.
Santo Niño. So yeah, and then this devotion started here in Dublin of the year 2000. So I wasn't here yet during the time. My husband wasn't here yet. So by the year 2000, January, and there were only very few Filipinos here in Ireland, most of them just working in the embassy. So, and this one was started in St. Joseph Church here in Berkeley Road by a Descalced Carmelite friar, Father Patrick Keenan. So it was him who started this one. So when my husband arrived and the other Filipino nurses was just staying here, St. Joseph Church in the year 2001. So they started the devotion, trying to propagate the devotion. So when I joined in 2004, then I'm part of the group as well. So until now, I'm still very active together with the others. I am just one of the coordinators of the Santo Niño Ireland. So I have so many other coordinators as well. So we're helping each other to keep the devotion going.
Okay, what's your question, Lorna? Go ahead, please.
Okay, my question is that it's just actually based as well of faith. Okay, so I understand and I'm aware, it was mentioned earlier that the consulate has this what you call this one, officers to kind of to focus their attention. Sir Raymond did mention about we have this youth education and empowerment officer, and we also have an officer who deals with cultural diversity. So my question to Sir Raymond or maybe Ms. Banda is that is the consulate has any plans, or do we have any current activities, or do we have any initiatives, okay, the consulate is having as of the moment, wherein we can strengthen the Filipino here in Ireland, not purely on different, regardless of religion, and maybe perhaps any activities or projects to propagate the Filipino culture and values, especially to our young ones.
Okay, well, Raymond, anything?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I wish I was answering this 2 years ago, because we had a lot more plans in place than we had now pre-COVID. But just before COVID, and actually running through COVID, we started a Filipino class, or Filipino language class, and it was Filipino language and culture actually, but there was a big focus on the language. We were targeting the youth, the kind of second generation Filipino. So my kids were a good example of that. Like, so they don't have full Tagalog or Bisaya. They a little bit of part of it, but the Filipino culture, they would have had an Irish taint on Filipino culture. And part of that, those classes were teaching that. And one of the sessions then, because a large number of Filipinos in Ireland are Christian. So we had one teacher that gave a religious sermon on it was a Filipino culture with it was a religious class with a Filipino cultural light shining on it. So kind of incorporating both. Programs like that are community led. So if the community want a program like that, we'll facilitate organizing it, we'll host it, but it would be led by the community. The workload the consulate team have it's quite overpowering at the minute, and over the last couple of months it's a little bit overwhelming. We're getting on top of it. We're in the middle of a bit of a revamp now to streamline some of our services, but looking at the cultural side of things, we're looking only now at what programs we can do, because the government restrictions for events and meetups indoors are now easing. We're still going to utilize a lot of the online aspect of it. So the Filipino language class will be starting back up soon, probably towards October. Once the kids settle into school and they get a bit of a routine, we'll start it. That'll be widely advertised. There's no reason why we couldn't have a religious aspect to that, although it will be community-led. So I know Lorna's group, Santo Niño Ireland, are very, very active. I've actually attended the Santo Niño with my daughters for the last number of years, long before I was consul, in both Berkeley Road and in Crumlin. I prefer the Crumlin one because it's closer to my home, but yeah, it's really good. The community spirit that comes out of that, the Santo Niño Ireland is just phenomenal. And seeing the young children take part of it, and someone gave me a bit of a commentary on the last one, and the teenagers that were walking back, they were saying, "Oh, she was one of the first young girls in this," and it was great to see the kids are still taking part, even though they're teenagers with less motivation to get involved in the activities their parents are supporting. But definitely, if a community wanted to lead a program, wanted to take an initiative, then we would definitely support it. And it's not only just, like, of course we'd promote it socially online and through that, but we could give other supports as well if possible. There's some programs that would qualify for financial sponsorship through Polo OA. As far as I'm aware, though, with the state and religion split, the religious aspect wouldn't, but if there was a cultural one and it needed a certain amount of funding for a venue or something, we could probably look at that. We could definitely consider it anyway. So I hope that answered the question.
Okay, thank you, Consul Raymond, for that answer.
Maraming salamat. Ayan, Lorna, thanks for the answer. No, it has to be community led. No, just like what's his name? John F. Kennedy
Rolando,
said.
yeah.
No. Well, no. John F. Kennedy said, that's not what the government can do for you," or something like that. Ask what you can do for the government. So it has to be community led. Don't expect the probably consulate to initiate most of it. If you have any program siguro in mind, tell them, and then but initiate it.
Can I add something?
Yeah. Go ahead. Yes, Vanda.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. You can hear me. I was just gonna say, Lorna, before during the COVID, we also started the online Zoom class, and we taught a lot of things about Philippine culture at that time. Maybe I think I started with around 10 lessons, and then later on it was handled by Aina's group. They have a youth group called Yo in Kildare, and they also taught a lot of things, not only about cooking and about the Irish culture and the Philippine culture as well. And then after that, I think she's from Santo Niño, Ireland, Anna. I think she's going to be a nun soon. She's also from I think from Santo Niño group, and she taught lessons, Visayan and Tagalog lessons to kids for a few weeks. But yes, we had to stop that, obviously, because as Raymond mentioned, the consulate now are really bogged down with a lot of work in terms of serving the Filipinos in terms of consular services. But it would be good if the consulate and community groups could work together, and if these things can be led by Santo Niño Ireland or other groups, that would even help more.
Yeah.
So
Can I
Lorna,
add something?
just to make it very it very clear, Lorna, it's not a case that we want to fob you off. Oh, just tell them to do it, and we'll send the link out. It's not a case of that.
Yes.
It's a
Yeah.
case of you as a
Yeah.
community group. No, just if I could finish this one, it's a case of you as a community group saying, okay, the consulate don't have the resources to do online faith classes. They're skeptical about purely doing faith. Why not do a Tagalog through the scriptures class? So you teach simple religious stories, teach Filipino language through religious stories and scripture to the children that are both learning the foreign language and the foreign language meaning Tagalog in this case, but learning their home language, the Tagalog, and also the script they're using is scripture. So that's just one simple idea, and I know that because I had that as a child. I had reading lessons, and we used the Bible as a tool, and it gave me the best of both.
Okay, thank you, Lorna. Pasensya na at medyo we'll have to make way for the others para kasi we only have one line that you used to come in, no? Lorna, mabuhay ka, and to Lani, si
Thank
Lani
you.
yung kanyang kapatid sa Portugal. Mabuhay. Okay, thanks, Lorna. Okay,
Thank
sige.
you, Lorna.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Lorna.
Thank you, Ms.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sir Raymond. Vanda, thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Yes,
you. Bye.
Vanda, yan, direct ipasok mo kami apat ni Vanda, no? Para ayan, marami pala kayong ginagawa diyan, Vans, no? Maraming
Busy,
grupo.
busy.
Oh, busy. Especially now we now that the community groups, meron talagang active community groups, but it became a bit quiet, obviously because of the pandemic and everyone's trying to get back to their normal lives. But as Raymond said there earlier, they're understaffed. They're focusing on the consular service at the moment. So a little bit of teamwork, I guess, with the community. Marami naman willing na tumulong. So yun lang. We just supporting and helping each other, I guess, would help.
Okay, thank you. Ayan, okay, thank you, Vanda, no? Okay, we hopefully we're
Andyan
gonna
na ba
be
yung
having
susunod?
Grace.
Is the next
ito.
caller in
From
already?
County Donegal, Ireland. Maganda ang video niya. Hi, Mary Grace. Good afternoon.
Hello po.
Ayan, good. Oh,
Hi.
well, mabuhay. Taga saan ka? County Donegal? Malayo ba sa
Donegal.
Dublin yan?
Yes po, almost 4 hours.
Oh.
4 hours away.
Wow, it's quite a distance. Huh? So how?
Opo.
Yeah, same question as the others. Why there? How did you get there?
Well, first I came from Cotabato City in the
Oh,
Philippines.
Mindanao.
Yes,
Like,
and then
Cagayan de Oro.
at first when I applied for the interview for nursing, my aim is in America or Saudi Arabia. I never heard Ireland before. And I only heard Ireland with like beauty pageant like Miss Universe.
Okay.
And then there was a group of agency from Cork went to Manila for the
Okay.
interview. So I went for the interview. When you pass the interview, they will took your passport and they offer you a contract. You sign a contract and that's it. You have to wait for you when your passport and your ticket will be arriving, and that's you. I arrived in Ireland in 2001.
One
We
of
were
the first.
80 nurses.
Okay.
We were 80 nurses who came in Ireland. And then we were divided. Some went to Sligo, County Sligo, and I went to County Donegal. As Consul Garrett, yes, said earlier on, that from 18 nurses, the Filipino nurses in County Donegal, we're almost 30 nurses now left, and we've been here working as nurses for 20 years.
Why did the size got reduced? Bakit? Why? You said from 80 to
Some-
30? Oh yeah, why?
Yeah, some moved to Canada. They
Okay.
moved to America. They moved to Australia. Some recently, there's 3 retired and moved back to the Philippines. So yeah, some moved to England.
You're not a part of the sum.
you have
Why are
many
you why
moved
are
to
you there?
Dublin?
No, no, I like Ireland. I like County Donegal. It's very like Filipino attitude. You know, they're
Right,
very friendly and very homely. Like in County Donegal, it's like a province, so it's like kind of laid back. I like that kind of. It's not busy. It's not like city. So and then growing up, my children here is quite safe. So I have 3 children. I have 2 born here, and I have 1 born from the Philippines. And now she's a qualified nurse. She's working in the Royal Victoria Hospital in Belfast.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Is your hubby Pinoy or Filipino?
Yes. Eduardo, he is actually a qualified nurse, but he didn't get registered here in Ireland because of the new requirement, the IELTS. But he's quite happy. He's been working as a healthcare assistant for almost 16 years.
All right. So you guys are from Cotabato, you said, right? Cotabato?
Yes, yeah.
Both of you, your husband and you?
Yeah. Ako, I'm Ilonggo, and my husband is Bisaya.
All right. Well, Raymond came from Cagayan de Oro, Liceo de Cagayan, no?
Yeah.
So they're top notcher for nurses school. That's top, they're top notchers. But anyway, okay, that's nice. Huh? You seem to be very happy. You seem to love Ireland. Look at your face, all smiles, peps. Huh? Look at her, no?
And Sunny, she mentioned Royal Victoria in Belfast, where
Okay.
her daughter is working as a nurse.
Yes.
Didn't we
Yes.
go there for the outreach, Belfast outreach before?
Oh, right. Yeah. So she's actually based in up north. Your daughter.
Yeah, she studied in Queen's University in Belfast.
All
She
right.
only
Yeah, we've been-
qualified there last December, yeah.
Yeah, we've been there. Whenever there would be a yes,
Outreach
Perhaps is
mission.
correct. Yeah, whenever there's there'd be an
I remember.
outreach mission. Yeah, we would be there. They would the hospital would give a whole
whole
very
floor.
big hall or something like that. Whole floor, yeah, for the Filipinos.
Remember,
the
we
ambassador
even
would be
had a
there.
concert there.
Yes,
One of
yeah,
the
we did.
Filipino bands.
Oh, one of the little bands. Yes.
played.
Below zero. Below
Yeah.
zero.
Below,
Yeah.
Cool Rain,
Cool Rain. Sorry, Cool Rain. Yeah, you're right.
because
Cool
they're
Rain.
from County Coleraine.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah, remember.
Here's the organization,
So,
Filipino
and they
Irish
called the band
Society.
Cool Rain.
Cool Rain, yes, from Coleraine. Filipino Irish Society, 2004,
Donegal.
Donegal. Wow, talagang the color of Ireland, green. Talaga,
Yes.
di ba? Okay.
Blue is the color of the Philippines, huh?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
we mix. It's a Filipino-Irish. Yeah.
meet your consul general, honorary consul.
Yes.
Yeah, by the way, yes, consul Raymond. Raymond, we have here Mary Grace ba? Tama ba? Mary
Nice
Grace?
to meet you, Mary
Yes.
Grace.
Oh,
Opo,
Mary Grace.
opo.
Okay, ano tanong mo, Mary Grace? Go ahead, please, with your question.
Hello, Consul Raymond. I sent an email. I think Sir Raymond already mentioned about our invitation for November 20. We're celebrating our 20 years nursing
Oh.
here in Ireland. And we're hoping that he'll able to make it. I think one of the message na kanina si Elvin, he's one of the IT working here in County Donegal. He's asking about the passport, that we're hoping that there will be a permanent passporting here in Ireland so that it will be easier for us to apply. Kasi kung may mga outreach program kasi ang London Embassy, sometimes when they post the announcement, it's already full up yung mga appointment. So kami from County Donegal, it will take us 4 hours to travel to Dublin. Mahirapan na kayo maghanap ng appointment. Isa yung sa mga question. And then we're hoping also that our Consul Raymond Garrett will also have the power to authorize, like for example, we're planning to apply for dual citizen, that he can give us an oath instead of us going to London to do the oath taking for the dual citizen, because most of the Filipinos here are still, even though they're Irish citizen now, they're still patriotic. They still want to be a dual citizen, that they're able to practice their right of voting. But in order to do that, we need to apply for a dual citizenship. We have to go to London.
Okay. Garrett,
Yeah,
can you do that?
interesting questions.
Can they become dual citizens through you? Is it possible? No, perhaps hindi. No.
So
It's
the oath of allegiance is done in the embassy, and it has to be done by a career diplomat. So it would work if the embassy were here or traveling to Belfast or anywhere else, like Belfast or Donegal, or anywhere for an outreach mission. But current international law and Philippine law doesn't allow for honorary consuls to do that. So that's that one out of the way. I'd like to point out though, as an Irish citizen, you can travel to the UK for about €20. It's cheaper to get to London than it is to get to Dublin, and it's quicker. It takes about an hour to get to Dublin, to get to London, and probably 4 hours to Belfast, to Dublin by road. You don't need a visa as an Irish citizen. There's a common travel area, so you can go. It doesn't remove the issue that the embassy are currently on their backlog, but you should also remember there's about 180,000, as far as I know, Filipinos that accessing the services of the embassy. They have a similar staff to most other embassies, where the consulate in Dublin has probably 18,000, and we have 4 part-time staff, all unpaid, including myself. So for passports, international law doesn't allow honorary consuls to renew them, and that's been the case for quite some time. And for dual citizenship, unfortunately, it's the same situation. It has to be through the embassy. In relation to the outreaches booking up, the embassy launched a series of outreaches in 2020 and before that, 2019, to try and catch up with the backlog. And up until there was one outreach cancelled due to funding, but up until that point, we were almost up to date. Anyone that applied for a passport through the outreach, and we had I managed a booking system myself, so we had a fairly sophisticated algorithm based on citizenship and prioritizing Filipinos with passports expiring soon. That there was a number of criteria anyway, but if the last outreach had have gone ahead, we would have had everyone in our system with a valid passport for more than 6 months. That went, COVID came, and now just over the weekend I issued my 1300 passport extension. So that's straight away 1,300 people with passports that have been extended, so they'll need to apply. There's probably another 1,000 to 1,500 in our booking system waiting for extensions, and we're inviting people for extensions as and when they need it, as in closer to their expiration. And then there's probably another 5,000 or 6,000 people just with passports looming that will expire in the coming months. So there's a huge demand. The Department of Foreign Affairs in Manila have very, very structured and definite plans for passport renewal service in Dublin before the end of the year. They'll be announcing details of that as and when they when they have them, but there will be a structured plan for renewing your passport in Dublin. So it's basically just wait. You just have to wait. If you have the option of going to London for a day trip and you can get an appointment in the embassy, then I'd advise you to do that. I would keep an eye on the expiration date of your passport to make sure it doesn't get too close. There's no point in ringing, a week or two before it expires saying that you're in a desperate situation, because you've basically allowed it to get to a point where it may be too late. So before it expires, you need to take action. And that action may be to travel to Denmark or Paris or London, whatever it may be, to renew. And that's just the cost of being a foreign national in a foreign country, in this case a Filipino living in Ireland. For the cases that you spoke about, those with Filipino citizenship or with Irish citizenship and former Filipinos, they just need to make arrangements through one of the embassies for dual citizenship. And if the embassy has an outreach, I know Ambassador like the Mayo, I spoke to him last week. He said he's prioritizing as a top priority the passport extensions, but it's on the list is dual citizenship, the reacquisition of Philippine citizenship. So it's really just wait and see how the next couple of months go.
Okay, you said towards the end of the year, something
Well,
definitely
we're
will be
in the
coming up.
last. We're coming into the last quarter,
Okay.
but yeah,
All right.
there's very definite plans in place.
How long is the effectivity? You have extension. Is the solution at the moment extending and extending, which is within your power? Is that what you can do?
Well, the solution is an emergency solution in reaction to the needs and the demands of the Filipino community worldwide. There was a memo sent in the middle of 2020 giving honorary consuls permission to extend passports. Prior to that, it was only with the embassies. Particularly for the case in Ireland, that it was very difficult to get an extension through the embassy with COVID, because even the postal services was limited. So we have an extensive service here in Ireland issuing passport extensions.
How long is the extension? When you say extension, because is it a year,
I
6
think
months, and
we've
then?
frozen, guys.
Okay, all right.
We can hear
hear
you
us?
though.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. Can you hear me, Mary Grace?
Yes, apo.
Oh, okay. So sila ang problema nasa kanila. It's with Garrett, no? Frozen PEPS? Frozen si PEPS?
1 year yan, 1 year ang extension, no?
Okay, so that's the only solution. Para extension and extension na lang in
So,
case na...
have the passport extended for a year, and during that year, try to have it renewed, no? Ang
Renewed,
sinasabi nga ni Consul,
Mhm.
mag-schedule na sila ng outreach, no? He was talking to Ambassador Lagdameo last week, and priority yung sa outreach would be passport and dual citizenship, ano?
Dual
Yung
citizenship.
acquisition of Filipino citizenship, no? So yun ang magiging, abangan nyo na lang po yan, at ina-schedule na nila, no? And I'm sure it's not just going to be one, no? Magkakaroon ng series of outreaches yan as soon as dumali na, no? Yung problema lang kasi is because of the pandemic protocols around, ano, which to which the Philippine Embassy has to adhere to. Dahil hindi naman kahit gusto nilang pumunta, hindi naman pwede basta-basta, no? So
Sorry
abangan
about
po
that,
natin
guys.
yan.
I think I'm back now.
Oh yes, you're back.
Yeah.
We could hear your voice again, Raymond. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
Raymond.
so,
Okay,
Sorry
all right.
about that.
That's
I'm
all
not
right.
sure where I
Okay,
was
no?
cut off.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, you were frozen for a while, Raymond. But Peps was explaining, you're reiterating what you were saying earlier. Tama ba yung Peps? Is something
Yeah,
about
yeah.
1 year?
I just summarized what Raymond said earlier. So abangan na lang nyo yan. Just wait for the announcement. As the consul said, he has been in conversation with the ambassador about the outreach missions. Yeah, to
Peps, question to you. This was not mentioned by Raymond. You said that the extension is about a year, and within that period, you have to apply for your passport. The
take
passport.
advantage since
But
since
what
it's
if?
been extended.
Well, yeah. What
Try
if
to
you
get
weren't
your
able?
passport renewed.
What, for example, there was no chance within the year? What happens? Can the extension be renewed again for another extension for another year? Is that also,
Correct me
does
if
it
I'm
happen?
wrong, Raymond,
Mm.
but I think the extension is just for a year.
If I could clarify that, so
Yeah.
there's an extension for 1 year from the date you apply, and this is why we have about 1,000 people backed up, waiting for it. So if your passport's expiring in December and you apply now, if you get the extension now, your new expiration date will be September 2022. Whereas if you wait until December, the expiration will be December 2022. Following that, if within that year you don't have the opportunity to extend, you can apply to the Philippine Embassy London by post for a passport re-extension. That's only available through the embassy. So that's giving you a 2-year window if you maximize it. What we found that there's a lot of people trying to renew ahead of renewing their permission to be in Ireland. So we've had someone last week who adamantly argued for a 2-month extension. Their passport was extended despite expiring in June 2022. So they basically got a 2-month extension. They had a very specific plan, and that's the only reason I approved of it, that they extended their passport with the full intent of traveling to the Philippines in January. I advised against the extension. They said they want to go ahead. They pushed through, so we gave it in the end. But what we're asking people and advising them is to wait about a month before your passport is expiring. That's the time to get an extension. You could apply immediately. You get into the booking system, get it approval, because it takes some time to get approval from Manila as well. And it takes us time to manage the bookings. Like if we suddenly had 1,000 people applying, we couldn't cope with it. So we're doing 20 to 50 a week, depending on the demand of the week. And we just ask people to apply in advance and then be patient, and we'll call you in and let you know. If you have special circumstances, then you could let us know as well. But in relation to the second extension, there is a second extension available through the Philippine Embassy in London.
I'm trying to get my head around this. Normally, when you travel anywhere, I think there has to be a minimum at least 6 months before, right? Or at least left
Yes.
in your. But isn't that like you're going to be at a disadvantage because if, for example, they renewed say 6 months before, the counting of the 1 year starts from there, not on the time of the final expiration of the passport. But aren't they this inconvenience? Say, for example, if they wait till the last, on the month expiration day, what if they travel? The requirements of airlines is you have to have at least 6 months.
Well,
How do you solve that? How do you get around it?
COVID-19 has inconvenienced a lot of people. We're very comfortable with these online calls because of COVID-19. Many of us may have done them before, but for me, I was never a fan of online meetings, and I was forced into it. COVID-19 is a global pandemic that has killed millions of people. Yes, it is very inconvenient. I would prefer everyone got on a plane and went to London and renewed their passport, so we don't have to do passport extensions. It gives you a 10-year passport with the new passport system. Consul General Arlene Gonzalez in London is doing a fantastic job by all accounts, and renewing passports. Hundreds are going through there a week. But the fact is, there's so many people trying to renew their passport all together that it's not possible. The numbers just don't add up. You can't have that many people coming through a small historic Georgian building with COVID restrictions in place. You can't do it safely. As it is, the embassy closed down once already because of COVID, and what they're doing now, the Ambassador like the Mayo and Consul General Arlene are doing an amazing job to keep people safe while still providing the service. This passport extension is an emergency service approved by the DFA to give people the opportunity to remain documented and give them the opportunity to renew their passport when best needed. And yes, it's inconvenient. I completely agree. It's completely inconvenient. It's very inconvenient for Mary Grace to have to get a bus to Dublin to physically present her passport to get a passport extension. And I wish there was something I could do about that, but I have to work within the rules and regulations that allow me the authority to renew or to extend passports. And bear in mind, the next Philippine passport you renew, so the average Filipino, the next passport you renew could potentially be your very last Philippine passport before you get a second citizenship. So it's an inconvenience, but on the grand scale of things, it's a small inconvenience. And the DFA approving passport extensions by honorary consuls was a huge step forward. And I know that was down to the lobbying of people that worked in the Philippine embassy and the people who left the Philippine embassy and went on to the work in Manila. It was a big part of that, allowing honorary consuls to be allowed to extend Philippine passports. And it was a great step forward.
Let me just clarify this for the benefit of the Filipinos in Ireland. So you can only do it once. Raymond can do it once.
The first extension.
Yeah,
yes.
but if it has to be done again for some reason, they weren't able to, have this application of their passport, and it gets extended, they have to go now to London, right? So you can only do it once.
They do it by post. They'll do it
by post. All right,
London.
do it by post now.
Yes.
Okay, okie dokie. All right. Okay, well, that's fantastic. So, Mary Grace, are you satisfied?
Yes,
They
Apo.
can't do. Their hands are
Yes,
tied at the moment. They cannot do that. Raymond has said that he can't do the swearing in as a dual citizen. That's beyond his ambit or beyond his work. But yeah, he can do the first thing. I mean, the extension of passports. No. Of passports. Okay. Maraming salamat. Great, Mary Grace.
So if you wouldn't mind, I'll just reiterate. So the embassy in London, ambassador like the Mayo, Congen, Arlene, and I think the wider DFA in Manila definitely have structured plans being put into place for renewal services in Ireland, passport renewal services in Ireland, and more outreach missions. The ambassador has stated that there will be another outreach before the end of the year. So it's just a case of following the embassy and the consulate page, the social media page, the website, waiting for that opportunity and then trying to grab it when it's there. It will, as you said, be booked out very quickly. I'd say within a day or two of it being launched, it'll be booked. But you also, as an Irish citizen, have the option of travelling outside of Ireland for a renewal. So there's many who don't have that option because they'd need a visa, and it's difficult nowadays with the pandemic to be applying for visas and travelling and sticking to specific dates, whereas as an Irish citizen, you're free to travel, and if the flight is cancelled, you just get the next one. So it's the biggest problem you'll have is getting an appointment somewhere. So you could look at any embassy in Europe for that.
Ayun, okay na. Maria Grace. Oh, pwede ka sa
Thank you po.
meron, sa Milan kung gusto mo pumunta. Di ba may mga tumatawid no? Hindi, sabi nga, di ba, Peps? I'm sorry, Raymond, you were about to say something? I was just speaking about on what you said, that you can go to any embassy, apply in Europe. Was that what you were saying? If in case you
Yes,
get an
well, as an
opportunity?
Irish citizen, as an Irish citizen, for me, I don't need a visa for most countries in Europe. I know none of the EU countries I need. So, Mary Grace, if you're telling me you're an Irish citizen as well, you have the same options as me. You can also enter the Philippines on your Irish passport with Balikbayan privileges, as long as you can prove your Philippine citizenship. Your birth certificate, your former Philippine citizenship. So your birth certificate, which should be evidence that you're a natural-born Filipino and now an Irish citizen. So you could still enter the Philippines. So you could put a spotlight on it to say you're really restricted. But the reality is the options the DFA have given you are quite broad and wide, that if your passport is expired or expiring soon, they'll give you an extension. Very simple, €18. It's a very, very cheap option.
Okay, well, we have stories actually. Peps, diba? Remember, si Ed, there would be some, was it Austria ba? Or was it France? Wherein some of our
Belgium
kababayans,
and Paris.
they will, Belgium and Paris, they would, because they couldn't get it from Paris, they would go to Belgium and he
They
would
just
accommodate
drive to
them.
Brussels
Yes.
and get an appointment in
Appoint
Brussels,
there. And our friend, the congen of Milan, was mentioning there are some stories of tawid. They call it tawid, like you cross over, tatawid from another country, and then they go to Milan, which is the closest, and they can get their passport back.
We have an increasing number of applicants from mainland UK coming in for legalization appointments, because within the consulate, we operate public hours on Friday. We're a 7-day, 24/7 service for emergencies and really urgent matters. But for public appointments such as legalization of documents, basically SBA, Red Ribbon, whatever you want to call it. We've people coming from mainland Europe and mainland UK to get appointments, because you can get an appointment within a week. We operate on Fridays from 7 a.m. until about 6:30 p.m. So we've, about 11 hours of active appointments a week. You can get an appointment within a week or two, and we've people flying in because it's easier to get an appointment there. It's quicker than it is to travel to London or Paris or Milan. We have Filipinos similarly traveling to Copenhagen, which seems to they don't seem
Denmark.
to have the demand of the UK. I know there's a lot less Filipinos there than in the UK. So we've Filipinos traveling there getting appointments. So
Wow.
So
you have to shop
SPAs,
around.
you could
and-
do it in Dublin. Raymond, you could do
yes,
could do
SPAs
yeah,
SPAs.
that's
in
the
Dublin.
majority of our work. Yeah.
Okay, so that's
Ah.
We're
what I'll
doing
tell
about
people
one
who
every
ask us
15
now.
minutes.
Yeah,
He's
go
gonna
to
be
Dublin.
deluged. Go to Dublin. He's gonna be deluged.
Go
all
to
right.
Dublin, spend some money on our economy,
Yes.
help our economy grow again, and
Exactly.
enjoy Dublin while you're here and get an appointment quick.
And-
But on a serious note, we're doing about one every 15 minutes in the
Wow.
consulate on a Friday.
Really? Yeah, wow.
So we're going through them fairly fast. It's a fairly efficient system, and we're working on improving it. The team, Leia, Ina, Wendell, Darren, the volunteers that are in there as well with us, they're the ones that make it happen. I'm front of house, people see me more, but it's the team around me that makes this happen.
You can also have a special offer with Gilbey's and SPA, no? Gilbey's, Guinness, I should say. Guinness,
Yeah, Gilby's gin and
Guinness with the SPA. Yeah, that's a wonderful offer.
Yeah.
2-in-1. Okay, so maraming salamat,
Yeah.
Mary Grace. Ha?
So
Okay
thank
ka
you
na.
very
eh?
much.
Thank you
Mary
po.
Grace.
Thank you po.
Nasagot na.
Thank you
Oo.
po.
Nice meeting
Thank you
you.
po.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah,
And
see you po.
yan.
Thank you.
Oh, all right, thank you. Banda, grabe kayong mga Pilipino dyan. They love Ireland, sabi nga, di ba? Sabi ni
I know.
Mary
Oo nga,
Grace.
si
oo.
Catherine De Castro
Oo.
Palmiano, no?
Oh, sige,
Ireland
labas natin.
is one of the
Direct.
very best country in the world, no? Especially
I
in
was gonna
bringing up
say-
the kids.
Ayan,
Yeah,
ayan.
I was gonna
One
say-
best. Oh, very best. Oh. Yeah, go ahead. You were about to say.
I was gonna say kasi Ringo won't be able to join us anymore.
Mm.
Ringo is with the Lumad nga Bisaya Ireland.
Yes,
they're one of
okay.
the most active. They're the most active Visayan speaking community. One of them anyway. There's
Oh.
also many others. But yeah, they were established in 2016 and 180 members. Meron lang siyang
Wow,
isang
dami,
tanong.
Oh, yeah.
and they have
wait.
may isang
Oh,
tanong
sige.
lang siya.
Oh, question to Raymond.
And I
Raymond,
also
he's got
wanted to-
he's got one
Oo.
question. Yeah. Oh, is it addressed to Raymond or
I-
ikaw nasasagot?
Addressed to Raymond, but
Or
also
addressed to Raymond. Okay.
Yeah.
direct,
I
yan,
was
sige.
gonna say also that itong Lumad also got great reputation for its big and successful annual beauty pageant called Miss Lumad nga Bisaya Ireland. And so
Galing, galing.
that's why I picked them, because they're also very active and very popular yung kanilang beauty pageant. Now the question for Raymond is what is the biggest challenge so far? What is the biggest challenges you are facing so far as honorary consul?
Raymond, biggest
Wow,
challenges
what a question.
so far. Yeah.
I've two answers to this. I've the well publicized answer, and I think this is a friendly enough show to give you an honest answer afterwards. But my generic answer, the stereotype, would be during COVID-19, I had to tell more than a few people, almost 10 people, that they couldn't bury their loved ones in the Philippines. I had to break the news. I made the call personally that I'm sorry, but because you're a former Filipino citizen, the Philippine government will not allow foreign nationals enter the country, and you can't bury your mum. There was one particular call. I had to tell a father that he couldn't bury his child. And that was heartbreaking. We spent about 30 minutes on the phone talking, and it was really difficult. I didn't sleep after it, but that was one of the most memorable and most difficult things that I've ever dealt with. The real personal answer that I had no intention of initially giving, but I'll give it because this is a very friendly atmosphere. the biggest struggle for me is the gossip amongst the Filipino community, politics.
Gossip,
It is
chismis.
heartbreaking. Chismis. It is heartbreaking. The allegations that were made against me are spectacular. The allegations made against my team, the people around me, the people doing good work, and people thinking there's a malice in it. And it's brought me to breaking point once or twice. But I've thankfully, with a strong team around me, we got through it. But it is it's really shameful, some of the things that were said. I know every community group goes through it at some stage. Sorry, not every community group, it's wrong to say that, but many community groups go through it. And it's really disheartening to see it. But yeah, it's really difficult. You're out there, you're giving your time for free, you're paying, like I pay rent on the office, that's my business pays for that. My business uses a corner of the office. We don't really use the office much, but the business pays for the office, and I'm happy enough with that. But then to be accused of profiteering because we charge 50 cents for photocopying, it's like, this is the only fee we get to decide on. So we charge 50 cents for photocopying, complete hands up. I keep all of that. I also pay for the printer and the ink and the paper and the rent, but you know, the fees are determined by the Department of Foreign Affairs in Manila. They determine the consular fees. As a commissioner of oaths, which is, I need to be a commissioner of oaths in order to witness an SBA, those fees are determined by the Supreme Court of Ireland. So if you have a problem with the fees, I think you'd have a better chance of having the Department of Foreign Affairs lowering their fees than the Supreme Court of Ireland. But, you know, you can tackle each of them if you want. You're welcome to.
I think,
but
I think I was...
The gossip is a killer. It's a killer.
Oh, well, you can't please everyone, no? Yeah.
I just
go ahead.
wanted
Sorry,
to
go ahead.
add
Yeah,
as
go ahead.
well. Yeah, I wanted to just add, like, it was actually...
Okay, right.
It was actually one of the reasons why I left. You know, it's as Raymond said, we do this for free.
Left what?
Consulate.
I left
the consulate.
I'm now just helping, you know, in the background. But I left because the consulate took over my life. And as Raymond said, we are not paid to do this job. We do this in our own time. And the admin work is doable, but the gossip and the politics is really emotionally draining, and it really took a toll on me. So that was why I told Raymond, and Raymond noticed it as well. And that's just the way it is. Even with NFID, all European Filipino groups, you know, every community has its own dynamics, and it's a natural thing. Filipinos have this kind of culture. So I took a break, and a lot of people didn't know why I left, but it was really because of that. And luckily, Raymond still continued to check how I was. He's really one of my best friends because he still checked if I was okay. And then obviously, I have a very supportive family as well. But yes, that is definitely one of the biggest challenges. But as Raymond always does as well, they are a very strong team, and they just keep their head down and continue working. That's all that matters.
Can I put it in perspective, though? We've been inundated with support from various different groups, and that is what keeps us going. The chismes, the gossip, the politics, they're moments. They're passing moments, and generally we ignore them. But now and again, it would hit one of us hard. I've seen some really fantastic community leaders been dragged down for absolutely no reason, and it takes months to realize that, okay, there was allegations against them were completely fictitious, and you know, but it's dragged them down already. I've seen community groups disbanded because of internal politics, and I think it's something that I would love to tackle, but I don't know how. I don't know how to get Filipinos to move away from it. What I did see was during the pandemic, during Typhoon Haiyan many years ago, all of the politics went out the window, and it was, we have a goal here. We need to help. We need to help each other. We need to help our kababayan back in the Philippines. We need to help these particular group that are having distress. Or when I brought, it was mentioned earlier, I brought one man that was very sick going home. I put a call out to the Filipino community that this man was in hospital and he needed help. So everyone assumed it was money. He didn't need money. He needed a visitor. He needed someone to do his laundry. He needed someone to bring him soup. Really home-cooked Filipino food. The man left the hospital as a celebrity. They had to restrict visitors because there were so many. And he was 6 weeks in hospital without a visitor because he was alone, 60 plus, very sick, and had no friends or family here. And he left Ireland as a celebrity, and that was the real, true Filipino spirit coming out. Politics aside, no one cares. Let's just help one of our kababayan. And they're the moments that offset the negativity that's out there.
Yeah.
And those
And
moments far outweigh any level of negativity that's out there. So it's not all
Exactly.
bad. I'm giving you the honest answer, but I'm also putting it in perspective.
Yeah, and I also wanna just say one more thing, because what many people would be asking, why Raymond was chosen to be the consul, why not a Filipino? And to be honest, I will vouch for him. Whoever would have to question, I would always have to say that Raymond is more than a Filipino. He knows so much. He is, I call him the walking Wikipedia, walking Google. Anything you can ask him. And definitely there was no mistake picking him as a consul, because not only is he very hardworking, he knows more about the Philippines, more about all the consular services, and he works so hard. And at the same time, he actually has that spirit and patience in dealing with all the dynamics, all the politics and the chismis. So if I could never stop reiterating that Consul Raymond is and always will be the best choice for honorary consul.
Wow. How long have you been the honorary consul, by the way? Have we asked that? When did you start doing? You mentioned
Coming
about.
up to
Yeah.
3 years in April. 3 years in April. But,
3 years in
I
April.
was director of the consulate, director of operations under the previous consul for 5 years. So I've a reasonable level of experience. It was actually Ambassador Moila Makahilig, who during her time as consul in London gave me my initial training, and it was quite in-depth, the training, and then also with great support with all of the consultants. Consul Voltaire was a mentor as well, and now Consul Arlene and Vice Consul Stacey Garcia are really a great help. And the reality is, there's a good ambassador there, Ambassador like the Mayo, that cares about Filipinos in Ireland. So he's making sure that they're looked after. And that makes my job a lot easier. When you have an embassy team that give a great deal of support under, because it's the Philippine embassy to London and Ireland. It's not only, it's Ambassador like the Mayo is also the non-resident ambassador to Ireland. I work under his remit, and it's his jurisdiction as well as mine by default. But there's a great deal of support there, and that's what makes it happen and what makes it work.
I think as well, it's worth mentioning that Consul Arlene and Consul Stacey also are the ones heading the consular services, and they also work very hard. And none of this would be possible as well without both of them, working behind the scenes.
Raymond, question. You said that you were
Yes.
you running. It's 3 years running now that you're the honorary consul, and prior to that, you were doing about 5 years in under another consul's watch, so to speak. During those times, 5 years, and perhaps before that, have you seen this kind of a situation with the previous consul, like this chismis, intriga, rumors, or whatever, or gossip? Was that also a situation back then?
I think it's been in the community everywhere. It was in the Irish community in the Philippines when I was there. It's every community everywhere you go. There's gossip and politics, and you either get involved in it or you don't. It was Consul Voltaire. that taught me how to ignore it by showing the power of simply not giving them a voice, not giving them a platform. A lot of the stuff is just literally trying to get attention for themselves and trying to drag others down because someone's doing something good. So there's a lot to be said for just ignoring it. It's quite difficult when someone is saying really hideous things about you. I was accused of being a racist against Filipinos, and it was the
Really?
funniest and the hardest hitting at the same time. And I'm like,
Yeah.
which of my 3 Filipino kids am I racist against? Or I built an orphanage in the Philippines. I had 27 children under my care, and I was like, so which of the
Yeah.
27 orphans that were under my care that I was so responsible for am I racist
Right.
against? And I was like,
Exactly.
but
Yeah.
it was
I-
I happened
yeah.
to mention that my children were quite white skinned.
I couldn't imagine.
I said, oh, I
Yeah.
wish they were brown. I wish they'd get a suntan. And someone misinterpreted that to me boasting about them being white. So it was twisted, and I was like, how could you conceive? I've given half of my adult life to helping Filipinos, but I'm a racist. Like, okay, yeah.
Well, as they say in the Philippines, or the Filipino, pag hitik sa bunga, if you were full of, hitik, ano ba, PEPS, mahina ako sa English eh. Alam mo naman si Banda mahusay dito. They wouldn't, ano ba yan, parang, they will have to throw, when you have a lot of fruits, di ba? When they try to throw
Throw you.
stones. Oh, because, in other words, if you're down,
They try to,
but anyway, you're doing a
I-
fantastic job, Raymond. I mean,
Yeah.
it's more of envy. It's more of probably, in America, for example, in California lang, San Francisco yata, in every corner, they have a body. Each organization would have an Independence Day celebration. They couldn't unite. Each one would like to have his or her own. So I guess, like you said, even the Irish community is the
have
same.
We have a similar thing here, and I respect that, because I've had community groups saying, why don't you tell everyone they're not allowed to have a Independence Day celebration, have one in each have one central one. And it's a great idea in principle, but look at the Philippines. Every single of the 7,100 islands has an Independence Day celebration. Every mayor is going to have an Independence Day celebration, and I would even go as far as most barangays. So why would we try to restrict individual geographical groups based in a specific region not to have their celebration? Like, the more the merrier for me. Like, I'll attend as many as I can. We'll try and have a centralized one with the consulate if possible, and we'll just go with it. And you don't need to be completely united, because it's going to be just impossible for busloads of people to travel from one end of the country to another. Imagine me telling Mary Grace and the group in Donegal, 4 hours drive from Dublin, that if they want to celebrate it, they need to do an overnight trip to Dublin at a cost of probably €200 each, do an 8-hour round trip drive on the basis of good traffic. If not, it's 9 or 10. It doesn't make any sense. So I encourage the diversity. I encourage each individual and each individual group celebrating the Philippines the way they want to celebrate it.
Okay, well,
And
I
as
guess,
well, I just wanna one last, because I
Sige.
know there are always, you can, as you said earlier, Sonny, na you can never please everyone, and I'm sure, like, I've seen comments there that are really good, some not so good, but that's just the way it is. My only request is just be nice. That's the basic thing. Have that love and respect. Those are the basic things that we always have to remember. And also, please know that the consulate team are not paid for what they are doing, and they're doing so much outside of their families, outside of their jobs. Give them, a bit of respect. They're helping you for free, and there are things that are beyond their control. They cannot answer your questions all the time. Just be nice and be respectful, same way as we want to be nice and respectful to you as well. That's all. Thank you.
There's a question here for the consul. Can
Sorry,
we bring
Peps,
our
if I could
family
just
with
interrupt
us?
just for 1 second.
Peps?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Could I
Yes.
interrupt just for 1 second before
Yeah,
we
go ahead,
drift
go ahead.
off this topic? I just want to put it in perspective what's going on here. this interview on its own. I've had a briefing from the embassy, 2 different briefings from the embassy to make sure I'm up to date on the latest entry requirements into the Philippines. I've had Vanda prepare documentation for possible questions coming up in relation to diplomatic relations. And I had my own team, Leah, Ina, Wendell, be on standby to handle the bombardment of inbox queries that's going to come in during this. So this is a good example of what actually happens in the consulate. You see me talking, not smiling, and giving out and answering questions. But in reality, there's 6, 7 people in the background working to make this happen. Now, I know you guys, PEPS and SONNY, have a team behind you as well. So in total, this whole interview process has taken 10 people. And, you know, it's a big operation to happen. The consulate on a wider scale is a big operation to happen. And I'm blessed in that I have so much support with the consulate team. Vanda's consultancy now and again, like we'll try and get Vanda in for the bigger stuff and just advice. But on the day-to-day stuff and the weekly stuff, I have a good team behind me, and that's what's make this happen. It's not just me on my own. So for me, I just want to thank everyone that's involved and thank you guys for your information dissemination and stuff like that.
Well, you have
And
a wonderful
also,
team.
just
Sige na.
just
Okay,
one
okay,
last
medyo-
thing.
Okay.
Last na talaga. There is a volunteer group behind the team, and we've set them up from the time that we started doing the outreach mission. So it's now like nearly 100 of them that we were able to congregate and help every outreach. But there's always a loyal group that helps every outreach, and we also want to thank them as well. They have become family and will always be, I think, even when an embassy comes or whatever happens in the future. So.
Okay, well, maraming salamat. Yeah, just do your job, no? We have a comment here from Edwin Saragosa, no? Probably this sums it up, no? Ayan. So many Filipinos. Hindi. Si kanina. No. Okay, that's a question. Yung kind of... pero okay na, basahin lang natin yan. Direct. Basahin natin. L. Megan.
Edwin Saragosa, no?
Kay Edwin Saragosa sana.
Yeah.
Basahin lang muna.
Don't mind
Hindi, sorry, perhaps. Yun sana, kaya lang pinasok ni Director. So many Filipinos here in Ireland was expired their passport already and they don't have a chance to get extension, especially the undocumented Filipinos. So sad. Hope they will give a consideration. Okay, yung kaninang some kind words from Edwin naman, no? Don't mind the comments. Go, Peps, sige, basahin mo.
Don't mind the comments. Just keep on working and helping our kababayan. No? Thanks a mil to you and your team. Salamat sa inyo.
Okay, you're doing a fantastic job, Raymond. So keep it up, no? But don't mind the...
Could I just address the comments on the undocumented? So,
okay, undocumented.
I know we briefly touched on this before,
undocumented,
before the show started. So the Irish government are launching a program to regularize undocumented workers here in Ireland.
Direct pakiswitch kay, pakiswitch sa kanya yan.
This is a once in the history of the Irish State program. So they're going to have a 6-month window, most likely launched in November and closed 6 months later. One of the requirements will be a valid passport. The Ambassador Lag de Mayo and the DFA officials and Congen Arlene are very aware of this, and they are prioritizing this. Not only for the undocumented, but they're aware of this, and that's why there is very definite and structured plans being put in place. There will be another outreach by the end of the year. Ambassador Lag de Mayo confirmed that a week or so ago. There will be an outreach towards the end of the year. So yes, the undocumented are being prioritized. And what I would strongly advise is to listen out for an accurate, detailed description of this undocumented program by someone in authority. Now, I'm hoping I can put you guys on the spot and challenge you to invite Barrister Nanito Barbera, the only Filipino law professional in Ireland, on to give this talk. So if you could build that into your schedule, it would be definitely a big impact in the Irish community. Nanito is the only Filipino barrister in Ireland, the only legal professional in Ireland who is an expert in this field. And I know he's more than willing. He's already confirmed that he would give a seminar or a talk or a Zoom call to the Filipino community in Ireland on this. And I think your platform would be the best way to do that. But look, I'll let you guys discuss that. If that doesn't happen, then we'll do it through the consulate page just to get that information out there. But yes, basically, the undocumented situation is a priority.
Okay, well, that's quite interesting. The only barrister, first and
The only
barrister?
Filipino barrister.
First and only
Filipino.
ever.
barrister.
All right. Okay,
So
well,
in Ireland, a solicitor and a barrister are two different roles. In the UK, I know it's kind of a mixed role.
No,
The
they're
system's a
separate.
little
No,
bit
it's the
different.
same. It's
Oh,
it's the same.
separate.
It's the same. Separate. Yeah, a solicitor and a barrister. They're two different pathways.
Barrister is
If I
the one
fin-
who goes to court.
Yeah, if you finish law,
Oh, okay.
you have to choose between the solicitor's pathway
Oh, okay,
or
yeah.
the
So
barrister
it's,
pathway. Yeah,
that's
It's
my
the same.
mistake then.
it's the same. It's the same.
Okay.
But that's good. That's an
So
honor, actually.
We've only got one. We've only got one. We have a couple claiming to be legal professionals, but
Yeah.
sadly they're not.
We
Yeah,
also
but,
have
we've
only
one
one.
legal professional.
We only have one barrister, but we have a lot of solicitors around here. But have you got
okay.
Filipino solicitors there? None?
No, not that I'm aware
All
of.
right. Okay, fantastic.
Again,
That's great.
some who claim to be, they use the term lawyer, but they may have a law degree, but they're not qualified to practice law in Ireland. Or they may call
Okay.
themselves an immigration consultant or something like that. So
Consultant.
it's a dodgy area, to say the least.
But hook us up with him because I would like to interview
definitely
him
will.
probably in my
I-
show and in future because that would be quite
I think
interesting.
he's a young, very intelligent, and very kind guy. He gives a lot of time to the Filipino community to help them better themselves.
Ayan. I guess we might probably have another part two. No, this is probably the longest interview we've ever had. Peps, correct, man? Or one
Sorry.
of those.
We've just broken the record, I think.
No, because it's
Sorry.
quite interesting. No, it's okay. It's okay. Who was the longest we had so far? Was it Ambassador Lulier? Pep, sino yung
Yeah,
pinakaano
I think
natin?
it was,
Ambassador Lulier. Yeah,
And
Philip Jones
Ambassador
Lulier.
Ed De Vega.
Ed De Vega as well,
Also
yeah.
the long-
But that's good
Yeah.
because we have very interesting kababayans in Ireland, no? So, si Golda, I was looking forward to Golda, no? Si Golda kasi na-interview ko sa show ko. But anyway, okay lang yan, no? So, sino mga nakalista? Okay, well, I guess it's time for us na magpaalam siguro. Banda, baka you might have some thoughts or meron pa mga pahuli pang ano, how do they contact you? Meron sinasabi dito
Yeah.
contact direct na how do we contact, ayan, how to connect,
The
contact
embassy.
Sir Raymond, Ma'am Banda, Lucy Samson.
Consulate.
Consulate, yan, oh.
Raymond could be
The best way
consulate
to contact
hotline.
us is
The
sorry, just on
consulate
that. The best way to
hotline is-
contact us
sorry.
is through the consulate website. We've email addresses there, and through the Facebook inbox, you get a quick response. We've had a bereavement within the consulate in the last 2 weeks, and we've had to cut back some of the services. One of them being the telephone. But we're answering emails and inbox queries really quickly. It also gives us a better opportunity of giving accurate information back because we can have detailed descriptions. The general queries are more or less the same, and then for the off-standard queries, we can type up a specific response. But we have not automated. We have the contents ready to go for how do I apply for a password extension. That's not a 10, 20-second conversation. It's a 2-minute conversation. And we can just copy and paste the information into an email, into the message, and reply back. And people have the accurate information they could then study over their own time. As I said, we had a bereavement of a young Filipino family member of one of the consulate staff, and we've had to cut back the phone services for probably another week or two. So for now, it's email and through the Facebook inbox.
Okay, well, Peps, so, mga final words, Vanda, before we go, because, baka,
Just to
go
add on
ahead.
to Raymond's, the Philippine Consulate Dublin Facebook page, that's where you should go to if you want to message them, and the email will be there as well, info@philippineconsulate.ie. But yes, I just want to say again, thank you to Consul Raymond for serving the Filipinos really well the past 2 years and even more since you started helping the Philippine Embassy. The consulate team, congratulations for still continuing to be working hard, even on top of your personal lives and your jobs and your families. You've been really working so hard to serve the Filipinos really well. And to the Filipinos in Ireland, We are all so proud of you. It's nice to know that there are still a lot of really Filipinos who are positive and continue to be positive, especially now that we've already finished the COVID. It would be nice to just sort of start over again and try to promote the Philippines and the Filipinos in a more positive way from now on. And especially to the workers as well, Filipino workers, we thank you so much for fueling the Irish economy. Without you, Ireland will not be what it is right now, which is a really, really lovely country to live in. So, thank you.
Okay, wow, fantastic, Vanda. Yes,
Thank you,
yes,
Vanda.
mabuhay, ha. And it's, okay, so maraming Pilipino who are andyan dyan sa Ireland, no? So thank you.
16,000.
Just
Okay.
to clarify, Banda, it's info at Philippine Consulate
PhilippineConsulate.ie, isn't it, Raymond?
.ie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, okay,
So,
okay.
Philippine Consulate, info at Philippine Consulate
PhilippineConsulate.ie.
Right,
no, if
right.
you have any
Oo.
questions. Because there are some questions in the comments na we're not able to answer anymore because of time restrictions. But please do email info at philippineconsulate.ie if you have questions.
Yes.
ano?
Questions,
May
yes,
mga
any
questions
queries.
kasi on
And for those of you
whether
on-
could bring their families over to Ireland, about overseas voting, no? So ayan po, no? Info at
For those using social media.
philippineconsulate.ie.
For those
Okay.
using social media, they're welcome to send us a message through the inbox, and we'll get back
Okay.
quite quick.
And then on Facebook, it's Philippine
Philippine
Consulate
Consulate Dublin.
Yeah, so three words. Philippine Consulate.
Consulate
Dublin.
Dublin.
Okay, sa Facebook page, no? So you could send them a message through there as well.
Yes.
Social media. Huh?
Ayan, oo.
Okay.
Well, Garrett, Raymond, Raymond, is there anything you'd like to let our kababayans in the whole of Ireland know that we haven't probably asked you? So, we might have missed on. I know we have a lot of things like PEPS was mentioning about elections, registration. We haven't tackled, but if you want to say something, probably, anything that you'd like to add on to what we've already asked. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm really delighted to have the opportunity to be here today and to get the information out. And of course, we could continue for 4 or 5 hours, touch on every possible topic. But the reality is, we have a very, very highly educated Filipino population in Ireland. And when it comes to their professionalism, their jobs, they're some of the most professional around. When it comes to accessing services from the Philippines, they revert back to the way it was before. They want to be spoon-fed the answer. We're in a modern day now. No one that entered Ireland in the last year can say they don't know how to use the internet, because you have to apply for your visa online. So everyone has a smartphone. Simply forget about remembering the email address. You're looking for the Philippine consulate in Dublin, Google it. The website comes up. Read the information there. All the services are there. If you see something on the website that doesn't make sense, send an email by all means, because it's so easy for us to answer. The information is out there to help yourself. Just keep an eye on your fellow Kababayan, on what they need outside of the scope of passport renewal, stuff like that. There's many Filipinos on their own. They're working alone. They may be working in a crowded hospital, but they're living alone. Check, are they okay? Because they're your Kababayan, and that's what you, as a Filipino, that's your role within the community, to watch out for each other. We're here to give you support to do that. If we can help, let us know how, and we'll do our best to do it. And Sonny, PEPS, Vanda, thank you very much for the opportunity to be here today. It's been enjoyable.
We enjoyed it as
and then
well.
just
Vanda,
one
go
last,
ahead. Oh, okay.
a big
One last.
thank you, a big thank you to Lorna, because she was the one who mentioned about this show, and she said that we should feature Ireland. And also to the community groups, thank you for joining today. Apologies to the ones that we weren't able to invite, and some have messaged me that there are new community groups existing and they want to be also recognized. So continue to get in touch with the Philippine Consulate.
Thank you also, Vanda, for reaching out to us, to me and Peps, to have you guys featured, because we've been well, we're coordinating with all the embassies, and it's nice. At least you guys are not left out. And when we had the window, I immediately contacted you and said, why don't we have Raymond on the show? So that's fantastic. So yeah, we're honored, really, that you guys have. I guess this is now a Guinness Book of Records for the show, Peps, because you've gone beyond. I don't know if you've heard of Lulier, Ambassador Lulier. They own the Cebuana Lulier chain of pawn shops or all over the Philippines. They've got the biggest, how do you call that? Yes, and
we also have a few publications here as well. Fat God, Thin God, and then the book of.
They're by
That's the
Filipino
book of
authors.
Vising. Yeah, the
All right,
Filipino
okay.
authors from the Philippines to Ireland. So there's lots here as well. This is the Filipino Forum. This is Santo Niño's annual. Yeah,
Glossy,
so we do have a
glossy.
collection.
Wow,
Yeah, and
very good,
also
very good.
I forgot to say that there are also a lot of graduate students now who are doing studies on Filipino workers in Ireland. So that may be another topic for next time. But there are graduate students, PhD Filipino students who are doing studies on Filipino nurses and carers and all that. So that's another part that
Okay,
the consulate also supports.
Great. Okay, so Filipinos are active in Ireland. One quick question with you, but this might be off. I don't know, off topic or whatever. You are a businessman, Raymond, right? You are a businessman. Okay, there are Filipinos watching the show right now. Is it true that Ireland has the lowest tax for corporate tax in the whole of Europe? One of those? Is it 10%?
Yes, at the moment we've 12.5%.
12.5 now,
corporation tax.
12.5%.
Yeah.
Can Filipinos all over Europe, wherever they are, can they do or start a business in Ireland? Is it easy
Yes.
for a Pinoy?
Yeah.
Really? Because you've got the lowest tax.
It's no different to anyone else. It's not for setting up a corporation. There's no different to anyone else. So what they need to do is talk to their tax advisor and see where their income is going to be generated, see if they qualify. They need to also, if they're any kind of sizable operation, then they'd look at the upcoming proposals for an EU-wide minimum corporation tax of 15%. But if you're not based in Ireland and you don't have any links here, the company could make money in Ireland, but if you're taking your salary elsewhere, you'll pay your income tax in that country, and your tax advisor would give you the best opinion on that. But there's many companies, Google, Amazon.
Yes, I was about to mention
Facebook,
that. Yeah, they're
Also-
relocated.
have their
They're
headquarters
relocated.
here.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I'm.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
also, I wanted to add, not only will there be more jobs because a lot of companies have moved here because of the low tax, but also the consulate has been actively promoting Filipino owners of businesses. Darren also set up a Zoom call helping Filipinos start up their own business. So it is also another area that the consulate will be getting back to again. But there is already an existing group that is being supported to start their own business or to
Perhaps-
continue and promote their own business.
Perhaps I'm going to relocate in Ireland. I want to be with the Googles and the. So next time when we have our next show, I'm going to be in Ireland. So okay, well, fantastic. Vanda, thank you very much for these. For being a part of today's program. You've assisted well, helped, you've been, you're a Philcom leader there, and you've done a lot for our kababayan. So maraming salamat. We salute you. No, kudos to you. And Raymond, mabuhay ka. You're an eye-opener. We didn't realize. We thought you were just an Irish guy who just probably coveted the position. But no, you've been in the Philippines. You've got kids, no?
You've
So
lived in the Philippines.
you to be accused of racism, I think it's like a conspiracy theory.
That's the funny one. That's the funny
Yeah,
one.
the funny one, and a conspiracy theory, to say,
Yeah.
so to speak. But mabuhay ka, and hopefully we're gonna have another Peps, another interview with him in the next when we have another round. And hope you would not, say no. Would ever say no to us when we invite you?
I
over.
enjoyed it. I have to say, I enjoyed it. So
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much for having us.
Maraming salamat. Mabuhay kayo, ha? At palakpakan natin, Peps, yung mga taga Ireland, no? Si Mabuhay. Ayun. So, mabuhay, ha? Raymond, Vanda, till the next time again. So we've had a wonderful time with you, Peps and I. We've learned a lot from you guys, no? And you have been like a revelation today, Raymond. So imagine for a guy to struggle, go to the Philippines, study there. This is something you should be in one of the soap operas back home in the Philippines. No, talking about your life. Imagine it's a nice story. Nobody's probably knew about it that you were
Put
there.
it on nice and late so people can fall asleep.
No. That's a revelation. Isang Irish guy, di ba? Nag-aral doon sa Pilipinas, no? Imagine, gusto sanang kumuha ng nursing, pero eventually napunta sa IT or something in business. Oo, mabuhay. And he's a successful businessman there in Ireland. Started during the most challenging time of our history when we have this crash in 2008, di ba? Yung worldwide crash, no? So, mabuhay ka. Mabuhay. I couldn't think of any more accolades but really to thank you, and you've done a wonderful, marvelous job helping our kababayans in Ireland. So, keep up the good work, no? Don't mind the naysayers, how do you call this? Ano ba mga sinasabi?
The chismosos.
The chismosos. Yes, yeah. Tell them to just watch GMA7 or whatever for the chismis there. So ayan. Okay, maraming salamat. Mabuhay.
Thank you very much.
Maraming salamat.
Raymond Garrett. No?
Thank you.
Ayan. Ladies and gentlemen,
Panda.
yes, our honorary consul Raymond Garrett and the senior consultant, no, Miss Vanda Brady. Maraming salamat. Ayan, ako Peps, nag-enjoy talaga tayo, no? Wow. Maraming
thank you
salamat.
very much.
Mabuhay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
mabuhay.
Bye.
Naku, bye. Naku, nag-enjoy ako, Peps. I did enjoy, ha? Pero ang dami natin natutunan. At napakasarap sa Ireland, no? People, the
yung
Filipinos...
aking favorite na kumpanya nung araw.
Oh,
Laging doon ako bumibili ng computer. Gateway. Diyan din sa Ireland nung araw yun.
really, ha? Oo,
Inabutan ba yung Gateway computers?
Inabot ko Tiny. Oh, yeah. Inabot ko rin yun. Gateway and Tiny.
Gateway, no?
Oh, yeah.
Nauna yung Gateway sa Tiny, no?
Oh, yeah.
But at that time, ang Gateway ang pinakamaganda, no? And naka-apat na computer siguro ako doon.
Mahal, Peps, nung panahon na yun, kung isipin mo, yung mga computers nung araw. Tiny was my very first computer. Naku, tumantuhan na ako doon sa computer ko na yun, ha? I know, Gateway, nakita ko yan.
No?
Nakita ko yan. Pero inabot mo ba Tiny? Inabot mo ba Tiny?
Oh, yeah. Nauna ang Gateway.
Oh, yeah. I know. May Gateway na noon. Tapos sumiikot kami ng... Ang binili ng computer ko, hindi ko alam kung sa Guildford o sa Reading. Or sa... Hindi. Sa ano? Sa kami nagsisini doon sa ano? Naku, nakalimutan ko na. Malaking city yun,
online lang. Online, no?
Online lang.
Merong nag-ano dito, nag-message din, expired na yung passport, naghumihingi ng tulong. Tulad nga ng sinabi kanina
si Rene ba yan?
Consul, no?
Si Rene ba? Rene?
Na talagang ina-arrange yung outreach, no? Ina-arrange yung outreach.
Ito.
And hopefully ano na yan, no? Ma-schedule, no? Dahil expired na yung passport So hindi rin sila makakapunta sa UK, hindi rin sila makakapunta sa London, ano?
Oo.
So ano na lang, no? Antayin niyo na lang yung outreach na darating diyan sa Ireland, ano?
Ito, Raneo, we have availed of passport extension a few months ago. Thanks a lot to Raymond and his staff. We appreciate your hard work, hoping the outreach will push through this year. Sana, kaya lang kasi depende dyan.
Rani Franja Cara, no?
Ayan, Rani, Franja Cara.
And then si Jovelyn Kiamas Cruz, watching from Monza, Italy. No? Virginia Elona, nanonood din, no?
Monza, mabuhay. Ciao. Watching from Monza, Italy. No? Mabuhay ka, Ludi Samson.
Ciao ka rin. Buti na lang yung ciao, hindi pong. O kang.
Ciao ka rin. Ciao ka rin. Naku, nakakatuwa
Si
to.
Nestor Tauro naman, no? Stroke survivor, paano yung passport, no? Yung renewal ng passport. Tulad nga ng sinabi namin, antayin na lang po natin yung yung outreach na makarating diyan sa
baka bagong
Ireland, no?
direct. Last na ba yan? Asa na ba yan? Hinahanap ni direct yung binabasa mo, sabi, asa na kaya yun? Miriam Castillo, great one someone. Eto na, Miriam Castillo, at least mabasa natin itong Ayan, Peps.
Grateful someone is leading and working hard for the Filipino community here in Ireland. Forget about the annoyances. Please
Forget about it.
allow others. So thank you. You
Oo.
are honestly and professionally doing your job. Si Miriam
Trabaho lang, walang personalan.
Castillo.
No? Hindi, lahat naman talaga may ganyan. May inggit, alam mo na, hindi, wag na lang niya pansinin. Kung if the guy is doing a good job, respeto naman ho natin siguro. No? Kung 50 centimos, parang namamahalan kayo, parang konting sakripisyo, walang sweldo yan. May sweldo ba yung honorary consul? Wala yata, ni 5.
Wala. Wala.
Oo. Wala. So, siguro, at least panggasto sa opisina, okay na ho siguro yun. Can afford na ho tayo, di ba? Ako, masakit ang loob ko pag yung mga traffic violation, 130 pounds o 120 pounds pag hindi mo binayaran in 14 days.
Within 14 days. No?
O, the 65 pounds. Bino mo yun, pwede na yung pagkain, di ba? So, I mean, 50 centimos, 1 pound, huwag nyo na hong pansinin yan. Okay lang ho yan. As long as service, ganito ang tanong ngayon. Di ba sabihin nyo, kukuha kayo PEPS, kunyari, birth certificate, kunyari, via the regular, kunyari lang, simple lang, 1,000, kunyari lang, pagkuha. Pero kung mapapabilis within 1 day o within ganyan, dadagdag ka lang ng 500, di ba? Magko-complain ka pa ba? Ano ho yun? Yung service ho yun. Di ba? Naging 1.5 kung tipong mas mabilis. Nagbibigay lang ho ako ng parang correlation example lang, di ba?
Nung one time I was in the Philippines, inabot ako mag-expire yung passport ko, no? So, pagbalik ko dito, magiging 2 months na lang yung aking passport, no? So, while I was in the Philippines, pinarenew ko. Ang maganda sa Philippines, meron sila yung tinatawag na expedite, no? So, I got my passport back the following day.
You paid extra, kunyari, magkano ang regular kunyari, and then you expedite, magkano ang difference nun?
1 plus yung binayaran no? Ni Julie. Hindi kasi ako nagbayad, siya ang bumaba no? Para magbayad. Kung hindi yata expedite, mga 700 lang.
Parang sa census ba, NSO, di ba meron silang service na you can go the regular something, but if you pay a little extra, yun ang parang serbisyo
Uunahin nila.
Uunahin nila. Totoo yun. Yung unahin
maski
nila.
dito rin naman Maraming nagsasabi bakit may ganon. If you want expedited yung British passport, just go to the passport office and pay double and you will get your passport right away, no? The following day at the latest.
Totoo yun.
May expedite din dito, no? It's not something that is purely Filipino. Maski dito meron yan, no? Sa mga ganong bagay. No? If it's an emergency, and then you pay. No?
So ganun yung pag Xerox nyo, kung 50p yan, okay na lang. 50 euro sila, cent, no? Cent. Hindi tayo sanay sa pera ng euro. Ano tayo? Pound. Pound ho kasi kami ni PEPS.
Ano ba ang bariya nila? Cents?
Cent siguro, 50 cents. Cents ang euro. Yata, parang nakikita ko cent
Bakit hindi mo alam ikaw tiga...
Hindi ako sabagay. Pwede mo rin sabihin. Minsan meron ako mga barya-barya. No? Pero card ang ginagamit ko. Hindi ako masyadong sa... Alam mo naman, pag nagta-travel ako as much as possible, no? Hindi ako sanay nang nagdadala ng cash. So, nice, Nice.
Kuha naman,
Maganda to,
pero yung
Ireland.
Sinabi kanina, just send them a message. Pwede dun sa Facebook page, sa social media, sa website, no? Magpadala lang kayo ng message, no? Rod Yabut, Joe Cruz, no? Puro mga nanonood pala, no? Si Norman Mola, I love Ireland, no? We love you too.
Ako, yung apelido ko nasa Ireland.
Watching daw si Kit Tupas, no?
Kit. Taga Ireland.
Si Kit yata ang namatayan, ano?
Si Kit ba? Namatayan? Si Kit Tupas? Really?
I think so. Yung parang may nabasa ko no?
Okay. Hindi ko alam.
Parang so condolence Kit, ha?
Condolence Kit. We love this guy. He's a good friend of ours. Kaya pagka tayo napunta sa Belfast, yan ang ating tour guide. Tourist.
Yeah. Pinasyal pa tayo niyan di ba?
Dinaan tayo doon sa may parang parliament, ano tawag doon? Di pa sa ganun. Pero nasa labas lang tayo, no?
Yeah.
Pinakita niya yung parang parang parlamento ng
kung saan nag-aano sila. Stormont, no?
Stormont. Kaya lang sa labas lang tayo, siyempre, no? Ayan lang, para tuturo lang sa atin. Ayan, okay. Okay na.
Sa gate lang tayo, nakasilip sa loob.
Oh, buhay ka, Kit, no? Nga, we were going to sa mga rolling hills, ha? Di ba? Up and down ng mga hills
Kaya
sa Belfast yata yun, Northern Ireland. So mabuhay ka, and condolence, Kit, no? Kit Tupas, a very good friend of ours.
Kerry Valdez, Dublin, no? Oliver Fernandez, nanonood pala si Oliver, no? From the Pacific Northwest of the USA. Hello daw.
Yes. So, mabuhay. At least nakakatuwa naman na nag-enjoy si Raymond, no? Garrett tuloy, meron kasing Garrett na kakilala ko, first na Garrett, pero Raymond, no? Si Raymond. At nag-enjoy sila. Mabuhay, no? It's nice na at least nakasama natin ang mga taga-Ireland. Very active ang mga Pinoy dyan. Peps, when I would go, tatanong ko nga sana ang reason ba kaya maraming dumarating sa outreach dahil kay Mr. Voltaire, si Volts, di ba? Kita mo naman si Volts, active doon. Gandang lalaki.
Yung isa dito nagtatanong, si Annalisa Regaspi, no? Dahil na-expired daw, pero kung hindi pa naman expired yung passport niya, nag-email sa kanya yung embassy, no?
Ayan,
kung
Annalisa.
makakabiyahe siya, pumunta siya ng London, ano? Ang ibig sabihin po nun, kung baka mamaya, mag-expire na yung passport nyo, so you have to check if you can travel to the UK.
May message siya rito. This is part of their email. It would be best if you first check with local Irish and UK authorities if you will be permitted to come to London first.
Yun po ang ibig sabihin nun, no? Kung pwede kayong makapagbiyahe pa sa London. Dahil as Sonny mentioned earlier, may mga rules yan. Kung minsan, kailangan na at least 6 months ang validity ng passport. No? If not, then kung pwede kang makabiyahe
Extension.
based on your passport, edi
Okay
bumiyahe ka. No? But of course, you have to let them know. Kung hindi naman, ay antayin na lang natin yung outreach mission.
Ang reason daw ng backlog nila, Peps, correct me if I'm wrong, pagkakaintindi ko sa sinasabi niya backlog is because parang binibigyan they give their extension towards the last month end. Parang ganun eh.
Hindi. Ang sinasabi niyang backlog sa renewal. No?
Sa renewal.
Ang backlog is on the renewal. It's because there are so many people renewing their passport. Ano? Ang sinasabi naman niya dun sa extension, it's best if you renew it closer to the expiration date. Because ang extension is not based on the expiration of the passport. It's based on when you apply for an extension. No?
Yes.
So kung nag-apply ka na extension noong June, ang extension mo is only up to June 2022. Even though ang passport mo is valid until December. Ano? So, kaya nga, yun ang sinasabi niya. No?
Akala ko kasi parang sinasabi niya na pati yun din dahil nga sa maraming gusto mag-renew, parang hindi nila nire-renew nga dahil nga doon sa, when for example, December ang expiration, ngayon mo ginawa yung extension, 1 year to September of next year. Ang bilang, hindi yung expiration mo na December.
December 2022 yung
diba?
validity. No? So yun ang, yun ang mga bagay-bagay na kailangang intindihin nyo. No? And then, wala tayong magagawa because Philippine law yun no? It's not just a policy of the Philippine consulate, honorary Philippine consulate diyan sa Dublin, ano? Yung renewal has to be done dahil may kasamang biometrics yan no? So it has to be done sa Philippine Embassy or when they do the outreach, dala-dala nila yung machine
pinapasok ko yung aking yan.
Nga, ikaw sa akin, pasok.
Pasok sa shot.
Ako umadjust.
Pasok ka sa shot. Yeah, okay. Nakita ko, sabi ko, meron siya. Kaya kailangan maisama ko rin sa akin. Di ba? Okay. Sure saying, Peps.
No? So, marami tayong natutunan din dito sa ating palabas na ito. No?
Na-humanize nga, sabi nga ni Ambassador Myla Makilig na humanize daw natin yung show natin. Di ba? Dahil, although we're going around meeting all of these ambassadors, pero yun nga, it becomes a very casual, cool. Kaya lahat na nag-guest sa atin, Peps, gusto pa nila maulit Dahil nag-enjoy nahulog. Nahulog.
Ayos ko, lalapit ko.
And then, out of frame nga. Out of frame Wala, out of frame. Balik mo direct. Out of frame siya, hindi niya na, nawala na. Nawala. Ayun, okay. Hindi, isa pa. Konti pa, pabalik sa'yo. Gawin, yan, okay na,
Yeah.
pasok na. Ayun. O sige, Peps, as you were saying.
Pinag-aaralan ko sana kung maipapasok ko lang yung maliit eh.
Oo nga, nakakaingit
Naubos
ka.
na yung lamang tubig eh. Oh.
Ewan ko, ano meron sa'yo, dalawa binigay sa'yo, sa akin, isa lang, no? So, ito lang sa akin, ha? Wala akong...
Ikaw ba binigyan ng sombrero?
Wala rin. Meron ka ba?
Ay, may papakita ko sa iyo.
Aba, ibang klase ka pala, Peps, sa'yo pinadala lahat? O, yan. Okay, Direk, ang talino talaga. Alam niyo, love na love. Ang director ho natin, mga kaibigan, si Direk Pau Perez, no? At, ano?
Yan.
Naku,
Talo
nakalimutan
kita.
ko. Oo. Ayan, no? Wow, galing naman. Talagang, galing naman, no? Galing. Kompleto ka ba? May jacket ka ba?
Ay, yan ang hihingi natin.
Oo nga, wala rin ako. Baka kung meron ka, iba na. Magko-complain na ako. Ba't wala ako? Di ba? Lalo ngayon, malamig na. Today is the hottest yata. Very hot today, 27 degrees. Pero, although, I don't know, kung ito na ba ang last nating mainit, Peps? It's nice to be out sana ngayon, no? Kung talagang no? 27 degrees eh. So, ayan, no? Nag-enjoy ka, no? Nag-enjoy ka ba ng ikot natin sa Ireland?
Oo, no?
Dami natin
Gusto ko
natutunan.
nga itong Ireland din eh, no?
Oo. Kailangan
nag-attend
mapunta tayo na.
Nag-attend ako ng wedding noon sa Wicklow. That's why nakarating ako sa Wicklow.
Okay. Gusto kong puntahan nyo, no, Peps, yung Laragan Lodge. I don't know kung mailalabas ni Direk, no? Pero hindi siguro mailalabas ni Direk yan. Pero merong Laragan Lodge, may Laragan Stables dyan sa Ireland. Grabe. So, nakakatuwa. Ito, lalabas ni Direk. Paano kaya niya mailalabas yan? Laragan Lodge. Yan, Laragan Lodge. Mailalabas mo ba yan, Direk? Peps, pagka dito ka dadalin. Sa Laragan Lodge.
Oo nga eh.
Oo, asan na ba yan? Ito, mahusay ito si Direk. Ipapakita niya. Hindi, kasi ako nagulat ako. May mga, tsaka kabayo. Kung gusto nyo ng kabayo, stables. Laragan talaga. Ito, Peps, Laragan, ano pangalan ito? Alam mo, galing talaga itong director natin. Wala akong masabi talaga sa director natin, Peps. Talagang
Nahanap niya kaagad, ha?
Ang galing kaagad nito. Ito, Laragan Lodge. Hindi ako, pag ako mag-holiday ako, dito ako pupunta, Peps. This is website niya, Laragan Lodge. Ito, yan, Ayan, Laragan Lodge, Peps. Malapit sa Sian, malapit sa dagat. Ayan, Ayan, Laragan Lodge. Nakakatuwa yan. Pampamilya yan. County Mayo Mayo.
County Mayo.
County Mayo. So, ayan, Laragan Lodge. Puntahan lang huli nyo.
Ano yan? Sa Batangas siguro yan. Dahil mga tigalipang mga Mayo.
Oo. And then nagulat ako, Peps, sabi ko, okay to, meron pala akong lugar, Laragan Lodge. Laragan Development, punta ka dyan sa, kita mo, pinapakita pa ni Direk, marami ako makikita mga shots dito. Laragan Lodge, grabe talaga to si Direk talaga. Ang bilis. Ay, kita mo yung loob, Peps, yung loob ng aking lodge. Yan.
Aba,
okay,
punta tayo.
overlook.
Punta tayo.
Punta tayo. May fireplace pa ron, kita mo.
Mag-book ka na. Kailangan ko pala ng visa.
Pag tinanong ko paano, Peps, pag tinanong who's this? Mr. Laragan. Paano ang sasabihin ko? Di ba? Can I get your name, please? My name is Sonny Laragan. From the afar tuloy. From afar. Ayan, nakita mo, Peps. Hindi pa, binababa pa ni Direk. Ang ganda ng parang bahay from malayo. Ayan, malapit sa dagat yan. Kung gusto mong kabayo, Laragan Stables.
Sonny, sa
Peps,
sinabi mong ganyan, meron akong kasama sa advertising na. Ang pangalan, Billy Rockwell. Siya ang pinalitan ko sa Ace Compton.
Billy Rockwell?
Umalis siya ng Ace, akong pumalit, Billy Rockwell.
Okay. Pero Pinoy?
Nung nagbukas yung Rockwell,
mistiso
yan Nung nagbukas yung Rockwell, pumarada siya doon sa paradahan ng may-ari. Dahil ayaw na niyang umikot
Okay.
Dahil puno daw yung paradahan. Kinwestiyon ngayon siya ng security. Sir, hindi ho pwede dyan. Tinabas niya yung lisensya niya. Ano ba ang pangalan ko?
Ayun, Billy Rockwell.
William.
William. Bill, tama,
po.
Bill.
Ano ba ang pangalan ng building na ito? Ano ba ang pangalan ng shop na ito? Ng mall na ito? Rockwell po. Ako ang may-ari nito. Ay, sorry sir.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Hindi, ganun na sa akin nga. If I go there, O di, anong pangalan mo? Papakita mo, card mo and everything. Laragan. Yung titira natin, Peps, Laragan Lodge. Kung gusto mo mga bayo, Laragan Stables. Tingnan mo yung Laragan Stables sa direct. Stables, yung mga kabayo. Pero hindi ko alam kung lalabas. Ayun, stables. May kabayo na kagad ako. Ayan. Yung mga nagpapaupa na ako ng Laragan Stables. Galway naman to, Peps.
Sa Galway.
Galway naman, bino mo. Laragan. Kaya sabi ko, hindi maniwala yung mga kabayo ko. Tignan mo, pampamilya. Laragan Stable yan. I-google mo lang Google lang hunin niyo may kabataan pang ganda ng ang babata nito. Pampamilya nga to Ako, nagulat si Direk siguro, sabi niya, bobola yata si Sir Sonny. Pero nung makita niya ngayon, sabi niya, totoo pala. Hindi pala bola-bola.
Kasi sinabi niya, sasama daw siya.
Sasama natin yan. Siyempre, dadali natin sa Ireland to si Direk. Di ba? Ayan, mga bata. Ayan, Laragan Stable. So, Laragan Lodge, parang inuupahan accommodation for family at Laragan Stable. So, ganda lang. Ayan, kita mo, mga kabayo. Ayan, so, ganda nun. Bata lang. Ayun. Alright. Okay. Well, I guess it's time for us to say goodbye. Magpaalam tayo. Peps, I hope you had a wonderful time. I hope you enjoyed it just as I did.
No?
Saya
naman, no? At tsaka nakakatuwa rin at ang daming interact sa atin, sa community, not only from people from Ireland, pati yung mga ibang bansa,
Yes.
Nakakatuwa naman. Pero may Sweden tayo, may
Monza,
dalawang
Italy.
ambassador nanood sa atin,
Yes.
Nakakatuwa naman, At they're
si Ambassador
watching our
Myla,
show.
unang-una kagad nakita kong nanonood si Ambassador Myla, makahilig. Ambassador, mabuhay mabuhay talaga. We love you, we love the Ambassador. Kami na naiinip, kailan ka ba darating sa Vatican? Para ma-meet naman si Pope. Diba,
Akala ko sasabihin mo para makadalaw.
Ayan, Ayan, nag-message sa direct. Magpo 4 hours na tayo. Ayan. Okay. Well, nag-enjoy kami direct, kaya nag-enjoy si Peps at kami, dito dahil nakakatuwa to. Imagine mo, Ireland. Di ba? Sa Ireland. Sabi nga, pag binalik mo mga Irish sa Ireland, lulubog ang Ireland sa dami ng mga Irish dyan sa Amerika, Okay, well. Sige, Peps, baka you wanna say goodbye to them, Paalam mo tayo.
So, maraming salamat po sa mga nanood sa atin ngayon dito sa embassy natin, kaibigan mo, Filipino TV Europe po, Abangan po niyo sa isang linggo at ang makakasama naman natin uli ay ang Denmark with Ambassador Leo Herrera Lim at saka yung kanyang DCM, At abangan po ninyo yan next Monday, 3 p.m. dito rin po sa Filipino TV Europe. So, Paula, maraming salamat. Wanda, thank you. Consul Raymond, thank you for joining us today. So, Sonny, salamat.
Maraming salamat din sa iyo.
Papaalam na muna tayo sa ngayon. So, ako po si Peps Villanueva, nagpapaalam na muna sa ngayon. Salamat po.
Okay, thank you. Bago ako magpaalam, gusto ko lang pasalamatan, Pep. Siyempre, ang World Remit, World Remit to, mabilis ang padala, safe, at nasa convenience pa sa sofa, sa couch. Ayan, pinapakita niya ni Peps. Hindi na ho kayo kailangan lumabas pa ng bahay ninyo. Online ho yan. At lumaki sila ngayon, Peps. They're now having a new name, ZEPZ, Z-E-P-Z, Ibig sabihin yon, nag-expand, nabili nila yung Sendwave, so malaki na ho yung kumpanya. And they're gonna be hopefully traded sa stock exchange na magkakaroon ng IPO yan. Initial public offering. So abangan ho natin yan. So sa ngalan, I guess, pasensya na ho kayo, napahaba at kami ho ay nag-enjoy din sa pakikipaghuntahan natin sa mga taga-Ireland. So I guess it's time for us to say goodbye. So sa ngalan mo, Peps, sa ngalan ni Vanda, yung Vanda Brady, Masion Brady, at ni Consul Raymond Garrett, at syempre yung ating director, producer, director, lahat na mga kaibigan, si Pau Roque Perez. Ito po si Sonny Laragan nagsasabing thank you very much. So sa inyong walang sawang pagsubaybay, nandun na naman tayo next week, sabi ni Pep, sa Denmark. So kita-kita ho tayo next Monday sa Denmark naman po. So Masasabi ko lang ho, ingat lang ho kayo. Take care, God bless, and keep safe. Bye!
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you. So you can be there for them.